No.
I
So we have the
I,
anti-racist Mexican too. Don't worry, we're covering
I
all angles.
I just. Oh, good. This stream is not muted. Oh boy.
God
so,
damn it, Sneaky.
so I found something real fucking dumb today.
Uh huh.
So in streamer mode, Discord blanks out people's real names.
Oh, that's useful.
That's quite nice of them, actually. I don't see how that's dumb.
No, get ready for it. So only the nickname shows up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, however, what do you think happens when you have a rank that starts with the same letter as someone's streamer name?
Gives you that their streamer. It gives you their real name there, I bet.
No, it overwrites the rank ping.
Huh. That's.
Yeah. So if you have someone starting with the letter R in your server and you're in streamer mode and you try to ping a rank that starts with the letter R, it'll ping that person instead of the rank.
That's what we call strange.
That's what we call
little
didn't
stupid.
bug test and no QA.
What? No QA in this day and age? Perish the thought.
Let's see, I'll change his nickname to Yes, that's what I'll do. Yeah.
What will you do?
I've changed his Zarland's name.
You mean the guy who doesn't even exist anymore?
Basically, yes.
He's still on the server?
He's still on the server.
Did he change his name back? Because I swore you put his nickname as something else.
Yeah, I keep making fun of him with the nicknames.
Ah.
I'm not sure if I'm impressed or horrified that he's still here.
He's on Orange server. He hasn't left yet. He hasn't spoken in what?
He's not on Orange server anymore, is he?
Oh, he left?
Oh, dude, I don't think he's been. Yeah. Oh no, he's still there. Holy
okay, yeah, because I thought I saw his name there, or his icon at least.
Yeah, goddamn.
He just doesn't talk. He just lurks.
Oh, fuck me, I guess.
He lurks like a lurking lurker.
Oh,
upon Ryan's lurker.
So fucking tired today. I showed up and I had to inventory 70 some fucking computers. Because, and this isn't like a normal inventory of just scan, enter information, scan, enter information. I had to visit each room of the building and scan them one by one onto my phone to enter into a Google Sheet. And they had these computers in the most inconvenient locations possible.
How inconvenient?
One of them was the thing holding the desk up. And the security, the security number, the SN serial number was up against the wall.
Oh no.
Always fun.
Yeah, so I had a fun time. But yeah, so someone clicked something they shouldn't have, and the firewall got breached. And
isn't the point of the firewall to stop that?
Yeah. So yeah, they got in and they wrecked some merry fun with the network, and yeah, had to manually inventory all of the computers. because we had to flash them all next, and I wasn't part of that. I was just part of the inventorying, and they put me down for 8 hours, right? So like, it's gonna take you 8 hours to do. I was like, okay. I got done in 2 hours. And I was like, can I leave? They're like, well, hold on. Don't leave yet. Maybe you'll be needed for something. I was like, okay.
I mean, you're getting paid either way, right?
Oh, yeah, no, 100%, yeah. But still, it's just like, there's getting paid to sit around and do nothing, and then there's getting paid to sit around and do nothing. You know, I much rather the one where I don't have to, where I can just like fucking just not do anything. Instead, like, I'm in front of the client, so I have to still sit there, and I have to sit upright, and I can't fucking sleep, and I can't fucking watch something. I have to, like, you know, I actually have to look like I'm not doing nothing because the client's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was interesting. And dumb. Yeah. Anyway, fanfiction time, gentlemen. Are you excited? Are you pumped? Are you throbbing? Riveting.
Sorry, what was that last one?
I don't know. Whatever you want it to be, Max. Whatever you want it to be.
I'd like it to be nothing.
Oh, well, it was something. So, unfortunately, that is not one of the options, but I appreciate your gumption. Anyway, fanfiction time. Let's see. What do we do tonight, gentlemen? What do we do tonight? Do we want to try Pokemon again? Bleach? Gundam? Armored Core?
There's Armored Core fanfiction.
Yes.
There is. In fact, there's like a kind of neat one that's a crossover with Toho. I remember enjoying.
What the
despite knowing
fuck?
nothing about Armored Core.
What the fuck?
It was weird.
Wait,
Nine Ball.
what?
Nine Ball was isekai'd into whatever the fuck the world is called. Can't remember.
Gensokyo?
Tokyo, I think.
Gensokyo.
Yeah, Nine Ball got isekai'd over there, and he's very confused. And Cherno decided that she was adopting him, basically.
Okay. Sure.
I wonder if I can still find it.
If you say so. Let's see here. Oh, wow, there's 1,000 Azure Lane stories. Sure, why not? We'll touch the horny.
Are you sure you want to do that?
No. There is 300 Armored Core stories. Only 286 of them are in English.
What?
Only one was updated in the past month.
Woo.
Ooh.
Well, is this the right one?
2 were updated in the past 6 months.
Oh dear.
That's rough. 2 were updated in the past year.
Oh.
Ooh.
Uh,
That's real rough. Imagine being an Armored Core fan. I cannot. Yeah. So, me, but I'm an Armored Core pilot. Me, but I'm an Armored Core pilot. Sequel to Armored Core Burning Path. World changed for many in 2112. For one person in particular.
Armored Core, but Domon Kashu is a pilot.
Indeed.
okay, now hang on. That's got some potential. I think they'd fucking go ballistic. It's like, kid, you need to get out. Did he just hit that with his own fucking hand.
Armored Core, but Domonkashu refuses to pilot.
Armored Core, but Master A just shows up.
Listen, that's my favorite stupid thing that's ever been in Gundam. Oh,
Master
so how
Asia's
cool is
introduction.
Master Asia? He beat up a mobile suit. Oh, okay, with his bare ribbon. What?
Infinite Stratos is the most popular Armored Core crossover.
I'm sorry, what?
Why?
No.
Oh, wait, who's this? Who? Oh, good lord. Whose voice just went full robot
Me.
at that?
That was Sneaky's.
Oh, I
That was
wasn't sure.
Sneaky's mic peaking in the network trying to catch up.
Destiny crossovers are a dead section. Yes,
That's
they
probably
are.
a good thing.
Yeah.
I still get updates, but all the ideas are just stupid and dumb.
Well, so it's really hard to have tension in a story if your character can resurrect. For free. Infinitely.
Like, if you have an opponent who's clever, you can eventually have them, right? Like, you could have the kind of thing where they're tearing their hair out. How do I kill this fuck? And them, like, right, studying the video footage, and they see the ghost, and they're like, wait a minute. Then you can introduce some tension, but
And then the story ends because the Guardian immediately dies soon after because they kept fighting like they were immortal and their ghost was dead, so they died.
I mean, you can set it after the Red War so they have experience, not being retarded.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, you're right.
We did in fact have an entire canon event about that. So in theory, if you set it after the Red War, apart from the blueberries, the only guardians that should be left are guardians that know what the hell they're doing.
Hello! The racist autist decides to join us tonight. Anyway, yeah, no, you're not wrong, but that's still it. Guardian powers are fucking broken. So even if you're like, all right, so the ghost dies, okay. Guardian void slash and the guy dies because it's a void slash and it's like literally entropy manifested as a sword.
Haha, hee hee ho ho.
Or it's like, yeah, I'm gonna use the advanced hunter skill. I'm going to fire a sun out of this gun into you at high speeds. It's like, oh. Well. Alright. They're really unbalanced is basically what I'm trying to say, and it's really hard to write them because you only have so many canon guardians, and if you try to do your OC guardian, the OC guardian's off their fucking rocker cracked. And now I'm not saying you can't do it, and I'm not saying you can't pull it off, but I am saying that unless you deliberately make this not the main character guardian and they're just some sort of background OC guardian where like, oh yeah, they participated in the Red War, but they weren't on the main assault, or maybe they were in the main assault, but they were like holding off the waves, and they didn't kill Necros, they didn't kill, the Forgotten
No, I mean,
King.
here's the thing: you can have them involved because, you can have them be involved without being the guy.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that you can have them involved in like one event as being a near guy, but if you try to be like, oh, well, they were in literally every event, and that being in literally every event still kind of makes them the guy, you know?
I hear you.
So it's like one of those scenarios where the story opens and the character's already stupid OP, and they're like, oh yeah, my stats are 10 bajillion, and I know every martial art, and my basic attack literally uses the sun to cut holes in reality. It's like, okay, well, where's this story going then?
I get some of whatever he's using though. That seems pretty good.
Now, I will say I have seen amusing crossovers in the past where shit like Luis from Familiar of Zero does the whole classic fan in reverse summon thing, ends up in Destiny, studies become a warlock because she's really good at void magics and studying, and becomes like the anti-hive.
I think I know that fic you're talking about. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
She kind of learns hive shit or something.
No, she becomes the anti-hive.
Oh yeah. Was that from? I think I know the author. Let me see if I can try and find it.
Yeah, it was a decent story, honestly, and like she becomes she becomes equivalent with collateral damage due to all her spells being entropic to reality. Yeah, it was good shit, and then she ends up, a decade or two something later, back in
Going home.
Yeah.
And has time passed or has time not passed?
It's been like a month or two for everyone in Louisville. Meanwhile, Luis has like grown up fully and has her own ship. And
Luis, you're terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, Destiny, isn't it kind of a catch-22 because the setting is it's so wacky when it comes to powers and how their powers work?
Yeah.
You can't really balance around it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really hard to insert someone into Destiny without making them a guardian, because all the shit that, like, you literally to fight the Vex, you need to be a guardian.
Is it Mark of the Devourer? Is that the fic?
I think so, yeah.
Found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 6 chapters
no,
in,
see,
she
you
returns.
don't have to be a guardian to fight the Vex. In order to go into any of the Vex, a normal person can shoot, bang, kill some Vex.
Right, no, what I meant is successfully. I mean, like, you go in and, like, actually repel the Vex, not just, I shot one of the Vex. Like, anyone can do that.
I shot it till it died.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, genuinely, like, actually go in and be like, this is a Vex threat, we're gonna go kill it.
Yes.
You actually, you literally can't be a not guardian.
Yeah.
I never got into Destiny. It never appealed to me. But the limit of my understanding is that, like, all the big enemies are basically eldritch gods.
Yes.
Effectively.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what you need to know about Destiny's power scaling. One day, God and not Satan got bored of reality. So they said, let's do reality again, but we can put in cheats. And we can give people cheating powers.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that's actually kind of hilarious.
It's pretty close, yeah.
No, really, because that is now, of course, just like everything else, it's a vast oversimplification, but
there's two paracalls. The two sources of the whole paracalls of power, light and darkness, are higher entities that are kind of just like, hey, this looks fun, let's do this.
Well, no, right, because light would create something happy, darkness would create something mean, and it kept falling into the same old boring patterns. So they're like, you know what? We're gonna make a universe. The two of us are gonna stay out of it.
Okay. Yes.
Except for making superpowers.
Underplayed does bring up a good point. He says you don't need to be a guardian to fight the Vex. You just need to have a paracausal based power nearby to protect you with it.
Yes.
You're correct. However, it's the Vex, and if you're actually going to go fight the Vex hive mind in the Vex lands, then I wouldn't recommend.
Wouldn't correct me, Phoenix, but wasn't Neomuna's soldiers kind of like they fought them on the outside? Like they physically had like the tech and shit to make super soldiers to fight the Vex, but beyond that, they weren't going into the Vex network to fight them. They were physically fighting the Vex on their
Usually
on
the
their
Vex
turf.
yeah.
Very specific people with specific weaponry were going in to fight them because the weaponry was protecting them.
Yeah, also, yeah, that being said, the paracausal powers are just as likely to kill you. Yes. Yeah, being a guardian is the safest route. Yeah.
What is paracausal?
Basically, there's only one instance that can exist.
It's stuff that doesn't really. From what little I remember of the whole description when I went looking was like it exists and it doesn't function on known rules. It just does.
Well,
it doesn't. It's that it exists outside of the rules.
Yeah.
Okay,
the whole
that's
point of creating right. You have causal reality. Light kept making causal reality. Right. The world as we know it. Up is up. Down is down. Gravity is gravity. The speed of light is 600 gajillion whatevers, right?
Inductive reasoning functions. Gotcha.
Yes.
And paracausal is non-inductive.
Paracausal is quite literally stuff that's allowed to not.
Yeah, like, the reason why Guardians can resurrect is because effectively the ghosts can say they were never dead to reality, and reality just has to shrug and go, okay, I guess that means they're alive then.
So everything is just sufficiently powerful reality warping.
Yeah, and the reason why paracausal reality works against the Vex to prevent what we're all alluding to is that the Vex basically can control time, but because paracausal things are removed from reality, by being a guardian, only one version of that guardian can exist, which prevents the Vex from... Because if a normal person walks into the Vex lands, every variant of that person's fate is now real in the Vex lands, which means there's versions of that person that defect to the Vex.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So you need paracausal reality to have the Vex be unable to manipulate time against you.
Gotcha. So it's a case of if you fight the Vex, you don't have space magic. The Vex will simply use the timelines which are most beneficial to them to preempt you.
Yes, they quite literally have portions of their processing network dedicated solely to running 6 bajillion simulations and going, this is the best timeline.
No, all variants of Guardians exist, and when they die, the ghost looks at the other versions where you didn't die and makes that the canon reality.
Wait, where's that
No,
from?
that's that. I'm
that,
gonna need
yeah,
some,
no.
I'm
I'm
gonna need
with
some
you.
sources on that one because that might be cool lore to explain the player. But if you like, every timeline changes for everyone every single time a Guardian dies.
Yeah, no, I think you brought this up before, and I went looking. I didn't find anything. I think it was
I've
mostly
never
a fan
heard
in
anything
theory.
about that.
I didn't play much Destiny, but I do remember the opening being, "Oh, good, you're not dead anymore."
Yeah.
From your ghost.
Yeah.
Or immediately explaining, by the way, respawning is just a thing that happens as long as you have one of me around.
Yeah.
As long as I exist, you will never die.
That was pretty explicit in the first 5 minutes of the game.
And that's why the ghosts were looking for heroes or people that could be heroes by just scanning the environment, because someone had died there, and the ghost was able to look at that reality where they died and be like, oh, they can be a hero, or they are a hero, and then so they go, boop, you're not dead anymore.
Well, no, don't forget, it's canon. Each ghost is linked to a guardian.
Yes.
As far as I can tell,
that's fair.
Do they actually? Is that actually a hard requirement that they look for a specific that person's hero?
Yes. No, that is canon. This guardian, this guardian is assigned to X. That's why you find ghosts that are like free roaming. Like they are right. there are ghosts that are essentially just on the Galactic World Tour to find who they're supposed to res.
No res for the weary. Oh, the lore card. Yeah, okay, that's fair. The lore card. All right, so added in Forsaken. All right, so that's fairly old. Derelict Almighty, hoping to salvage Cabal secrets. I should have seen the trap. Vez infection. Caught in the amber of slow time.
Okay, so I'm reading this. It's not exactly a hard thing. I think it's most their own interpretation. It says that's how they believe the event goes. So it's not a hard rule. It's like this is someone's theory in verse.
Okay, well that's an in-universe theory.
Okay, no, yeah, you are completely you are just absolutely not interpreting this correctly. It's literally saying, where do you find the template for him? And he's saying, oh, well, I just scan nearby reality timelines for the template to bring him back. They don't shift reality around. They look at someone else's notes and go, okay, well, I'll change it to how I remembered him. Thanks for letting me copy your notes, bro. And then they paste the Guardian back into reality.
Even then, it's like this is just it's someone's interpretation.
Well, yeah, that's a
kind of-
ghost interpretation, but yeah, but what I'm saying here is that Phoenix here said that they like take a Guardian from an alternative timeline and make that the new timeline. It's like, no, that's not what happens. To the ghost explanation, the ghost is saying that they copy and paste, not mess with timelines.
Yeah, well, that's not even the ghost saying it. That's the ghost
Quoting someone else saying it. Yes.
quoting a cult.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, that is pretty suck.
Actually, the ghost doesn't even share what his own theory is. He just says he has a theory, but then he goes to quote some other theory.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Destiny does that.
Destiny does that a lot.
I gotta say though, it's pretty fucking clear to me. It's like, why can't I bring him back, bro? He's caught in like a black hole's gravitational field. Time is slowed down. He's not dead. He might as well be.
It's not a gravitational field. It was a Vex time trap that slowed down time inside the bubble by like 50,000 years per second.
So come back in 50,000 years, and you can have him back.
Yeah,
maybe.
Literally.
Possibly.
I mean, honestly, just jam yourself into that time bubble yourself, and then you'll pop out the same time he does.
Well, depends on how slowed down time has been. You might pop in 5 minutes later.
No, because it literally says on the card, in 50,000 years, he will disarm the trap, which is doing the time thing.
Oh, I see. He'll disarm the trap, at which point
you'll both pop out, yeah. So, boom, done. Fixed the issue.
At least you won't be alone for those 50,000 years.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Armored Core stories. Top 3 stories is Infinite Stratos, Code Geass, and Gundam Seed. Absolutely not surprising in the slightest.
Gundam shit.
Gundam Build Fighters is also here with 2 stories. For some reason, Sailor Moon has one. Transformers has one. Even Jellian has one. Gundam Wing has one. Dune has one.
My
Why
Little
Dune?
Pony? What the fuck?
Yeah, why does My Little Pony Familiar of Zero? Bro.
Looks like he's found the one he wants to look at.
Bro,
Is it in English? Is the question.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a good answer. It's in English. 100,000 words.
Holy crap!
Last updated
It's-
2015. Jesus.
Over the
Oh.
course of 3 years, you really sat here and wrote a 100,000 word Familiar of Zero Armored Core crossover.
You know,
Respect
to
the
be
effort at least.
fair, he's got the numbers.
And he does got the numbers, and it's respectable, which makes me go, why did you just stop?
More than
The
that,
numbers nation.
Here's my question: why were so many people fiending for an Armored Core Familiar of Zero crossover?
Here's the summary. Apparently, this is actually a really good summary, too. So, I mean, kudos to this guy. Louise has always been considered as a zero. However, her life will drastically change as she is summoned. As she summoned an advanced sentient controller agent that is supposed to be heading into battle. Follow Louise's ventures together with her newfound familiar. Is this an AI Armored Core fans, or is this a person?
No. So as far as I know, Armored Core involves real people.
Well, it says advanced sentient controller agent,
Yeah,
so I mean
there's real people, but there are also AI controlled suits.
Okay, so this is
Like,
probably an
I'm
AI
pretty
controlled
sure
suit.
I
Yeah.
mentioned 9-Ball earlier. I think 9-Ball is one of the advanced AI enemy units.
Well, it's one of those really weird things where when they say sentient controller units, they basically mean somebody's brain in a jar.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, it's AI in a different form then.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, are servitors in 40K an AI? Yeah, technically.
Remember that one time Zinch was a super asshole and changed the fate of a guardsman from him getting a leave request granted to him becoming a servitor who moves boxes?
Yes.
What the fuck, Sage?
Who is that?
Why?
Oh yeah, no, Zinch, no.
Zinch be a dick.
Zinch is an asshole.
No, they're
That
not
is an
AI.
asshole move.
Servitors are just lobotomized.
Yes.
They aren't fully mind wiped. Just
Yes.
usually mind
No.
wiped
Depends
enough
on the
to
servitor.
function.
Criminals are not fully mind wipe because that's part of your punishment.
Yes.
Regular.
No, they're not an AI. It's the human brain doing the quote unquote thinking. It's not the mechanical parts.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's
It
fair.
Okay,
has to be.
fair, but
Yeah.
cogitators are.
Well, the thing is, cogitators aren't sapient or
No.
sentient because AI
I mean,
in
yes,
40K.
cogitators still use a human brain.
Yeah, it's just machine intelligence in 40K is hard coded to attempt to destroy organic life, not out of malice, to protect itself against chaos.
Oh.
Because chaos
yeah,
will inherently destroy all machine life because it can't harvest energy from it.
No, AI can fall to chaos.
Yeah.
It can fall to chaos, but chaos cannot harvest emotion energy from AI.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why chaos will always end up trying to destroy AI because it's just not worth the effort, like organics are. But intelligences, machine intelligences that are
Funnily
pure
enough,
machines.
that is the same rationale for chaos wiping out the fucking Tau. Because, right? Okay, so canonically, there are some humans that don't have a soul. Those are
Yeah,
blanks.
because of the Necrons
Chaos is
implanting the
terrified of them.
variety.
The Tau just have thin, shitty souls.
No, I'm not caught up on the most recent canon. What I last remember is that Chaos at all is aware of the Tau, but only vaguely, and just aren't really paying much attention to them.
No. It was in a series of rogue trader books.
I know they have weak souls, but I thought Chaos in general just didn't care much.
No, they have weak souls, and therefore
40K
Chaos is like,
Destiny
this is
crossover.
barely a snack.
That could actually be pretty good it both ways.
No, it-
by the way. Well, I think inserting a couple Guardians into 40K could be interesting, just as inserting a squad of Guardsmen or 1 or 2 Space Marines in Destiny could be interesting. Might
The
want to
thing
keep
is,
it to one shot
40K
though.
can potentially be a good crossover for literally any setting. It's just difficult to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, it's so we've talked about this before, but basically, I'll go over it again. The problem with doing 40K crossovers with shit like Destiny is that 40K operates on a macro scale. And yes, it does tell stories about individuals, but its events happen on a very massive macro scale.
You know, there's like a bajillion people dying on 101 quadrillion battlefields. And
Right. But Destiny is the opposite. It tells very individual stories. With individual characters. And yes, sometimes it's like, oh, you know, we all gotta band together and fight off the hive, and now we gotta fight the Red Army, but they're still very small stories. It's still small skirmishes taking place on this planet or that planet, and then we invade his ship, and then it's done. You know,
I'm going to invade your shit.
Yeah.
You could cross over Caiaphas Cain with like what was Nathan Fillion's character, the gay robot.
What?
What?
It wasn't gay.
Wasn't his character gay?
No.
Oh.
Cade 6.
Cade is
Very-
not fucking gay.
I
What?
First of
vaguely
all-
remember seeing
First of all,
some-
no. Oh no, there was no. You're thinking of Saint.
Oh,
14?
okay.
Yeah, Saint 14 and Osiris.
Yeah.
I have no idea who those people are, but 2 thumbs up.
Anyway, point being,
It's a different robot. That robot is the one you're thinking of.
point being is that you could put Destiny Guardians into Warhammer, and everyone can be all like, "Oh wow, conceptual abilities are really wrecking all the bad shit." But then it's like, all right, cool. So these 4 Guardians, they totally dominated this one battle. But the planet still blows up because, well, there's a bomb on the other side of the planet that the Chaos just landed and it blew up.
Well, no, it's simple. It's not even that. It's like, oh, these Guardians slew all these Chaos Champions. And now they've opened a portal on the other side of the planet, and greater demons are invading. Local reality is turning into ice water, and
Well,
you
no,
can't
but
really
here's the
do
thing, right?
anything about it.
The key to telling a good Guardians in 40K story is, ironically enough, the key to telling any good 40K story, which is focusing on how individuals can affect the macro scale. Every Caiaphas Cain story is about Caiaphas Cain personally.
But the problem inherent in that is that Guardians would be like fucking shot down by the Imperium.
110%. They'd go, oh my god,
Caiaphas
abominable
Cain,
intelligence.
you can tell a Caiaphas Cain story and have them make a difference because they are in a unique position as they're a commissar, correct? If
yes,
I'm wrong, yeah.
Cain is a commissar.
Commissar. Because they're in a unique position with political and military sway, where they can say things and do things, and people on a macro scale will react to them, which then cause a domino effect to make them win.
Well, no, except that's where you're in. The vast majority of Cain's stories are about Cain personally and him being caught up in some bullshit and how his personal actions are doing something. Very rarely is Cain commanding troops or leading armies.
That's not what I said.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Very rarely is anyone reacting to Cain on a macro scale.
Let me put it this way. Cain succeeds. He does what he does because he's the one little dude at the right place at the wrong time.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, he is the Gordon Freeman. Yeah, I get it.
Pretty much. Except he wasn't. If his girlfriend wasn't an inquisitor and his steward wasn't a psyker, he would have been killed like a bajillion times over.
But
no, his psyker is a blank.
Attackers
his
are blank,
steward is
I'm
a
sorry.
blank. But okay, yes. But my point is, right? It's Kane was presumed dead when the transport he was on got shot down and he crashed behind orc lines, and he and Jurgen spent 6 months fucking around not dying to orcs, and he unluckily got captured or formed a resistance, got a bunch of people, accidentally found the orc war boss, and just happened to kill the orc war boss during the critical push, right? Like
Right.
absolute author fiat bullshit that
No, right, but
happens to
that's
have.
fine though. Like having the events occur is fine. My point though more is the fact that he killed the war boss when other people were already doing a military maneuver against the orcs.
No, the orcs were pushing in. Like
Yeah, there was a large-scale battle going on. What Sneaky is saying is that had Caiaphas not done what he did when he did it, it wouldn't have mattered.
right,
Because there's this great big war going on just
right.
over
But that
the
was
hill.
my point. Is that Guardians are perfect for that.
Right.
All of their stories are right place, right time.
Right, but
I have a serious question here, though. Caiaphas does what he does because of in-universe acknowledged plot contrivances that he outright goes, "Oh my god, I hate being who I am. It's so dangerous. I'm terrified all the time." And could you justify that in a fanfic? Like, would that
it is
conceit be acceptable
it is a
to
lot
readers?
harder to use our author fiat on some things in a fanfic, I feel. Because
That's true, but
yeah.
if you how do I say this? A narrative conceit of 40K is
Yes.
by definition author fiat.
Yes.
Because if you didn't have author fiat, there's no way, right? Commissar Yarrick could never do anything. No Space Marine strike team could actually accomplish anything, right?
Sure.
So you can justify it in fan fiction because the inherent nature
Right,
of
but
40K stories requires it.
Right, but that's more in line with fanfiction fiat following author fiat of the canon, right? But you're going to get a lot of people complaining and arguing if you say you take Guardian, the squad of Guardians, and they end up on, I don't know, a Tyrannid world or some shit, or an Orc world or some shit, and now then you're like, oh, well, also, they killed a bunch of orcs. They just so happened to find the war boss that was about to start the next big wog. And then you have all your fans going, really, bro?
Well, what you would need to do is you would have to take ironically enough, your biggest plot contrivance would be getting them accepted by the Imperium.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm saying.
Actually,
that's the hardest
that
part.
would, depending, so long as you don't have any robot people in there, you could literally just say, we're mutants, we're sanctioned mutants, see, we have a purity seal
They
right
wouldn't
here.
know.
Sanctioned
They
mutant.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't know. What I was going to say was your best bet would be to have them appear in a big flash of light, right? Literal
Sure.
flash of light, and then have a couple nearby commissars or preachers or whatever go, oh my god, Imperial
Couldn't do
Saints.
it. You would have to have inquisitorial authority.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You start with, oh damn, big flash of light, an Imperial Saint, followed by them doing good and Inquisitors looking at them and going, well, I'm not sure what you are, but I do know that it isn't Chaos, and Chaos really seems to hate your guts, so I'll take it.
No, no, Phoenix does bring up a good point. You would literally need the Emperor to step in and do some sort of ostentatious bullshit with them just to get them off. And no, the Inquisitors would absolutely no. We have seen time and time again with 40K, Inquisitors shooting their foot off to spite their face.
That's well, and here's the thing. That's where like a named Inquisitor comes in, like someone
That
like
depends.
oh, Gregor Eisenhorn before he became a traitor.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
before
the
he
other
became a
thing.
rogue.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So I mean, they wouldn't fall to Sun Nash. They wouldn't fall to Nurgle.
Every MMORPG
Zinj.
character would 110% fall to Korn, just body counts. spawning
Yeah,
down below.
ancient corn are actually two actual dangerous problems.
Yeah.
Well, and depending on who, like,
Because you
I'd
also gotta
ironically
keep.
enough, depending
Actually,
on
I
who
can't
it
say.
is.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, ironically enough, depending on which one it is, like,
Yeah.
you would have a vast proportion of the Titans falling to Khorne versus a minority of like warlocks falling to Khorne. Meanwhile, you'll have a bunch of warlocks falling to Tzeentch.
Yeah.
Because warlocks,
You know,
Tzeentch.
you could say that the light power thing is like the Emperor. It's anathema to chaos.
Actually,
You could. Now, that would
the one
require you
hiccup
to.
I would say is that their powers are paracausal.
Yeah.
Although the light is, it's not quite order, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's definitely not chaos. But that's kind of the problem, right? Like,
Well, I would say more along the lines of, if we're going to use a D&D access here, I would say the light is just good. It's not.
In that
it's
case,
not
chaos
lawful.
gods of order. Simple as.
It's not lawful. It's not It's not order. It's not good. It's not chaotic. It's not that. It's just it's neutral good.
Yeah,
Then,
that's
just
what I was
chaos
kind of
gods
thinking.
of order, which were in fantasy. They're just the good chaos gods.
Unrestricted chaos via growth. I would say no. That's chaos by
Yeah, that'd
A
be
world of
miracle.
light is one of pure growth where nothing dies and everything just grows.
Is that what the whole leak? There was a leak regarding the source of like the current antagonist about how they saw the darkness, the evil, you could say, of the Traveler's Light, I guess, going rampant or whatnot. Is that kind of what you're referring to?
So I don't know about that. I do know that as far as the way that the Traveler's powers works is it is constant growth. The
stagnation.
The power that darkness gives is
spiritual.
Makes right.
Is it really? Okay, yeah. I know, like, a lot of the powers seem to be, like, at least from the general lore, is like, it's described that light is physical, dark is kind of more spiritual, mental shit.
At least specifically, what's coming from the God, I can't think. What's coming from the worm gods?
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it's darkness is definitely order. Yeah, that's true. No, I will. Yeah, I'll say that's true. I would say it's like, yeah.
How so? Because I'm kind of a bit lacking on that side of knowledge. What do you mean? Just out of
Darkness
curiosity.
is more like stagnation. It has rules. It forces things to abide by those rules and ends up destroying shit.
Okay, yeah, I can see that, especially with how we had to learn Strand and.
Yeah, no, I can definitely, yeah. That's like I said, that's what makes it difficult to try and do equivalencies when you're like, oh well, the light protects them. The problem is that we now have canon showing that Guardians can use both light and darkness. I feel like I'm hijacking the stream. No, this is interesting stuff you have to consider when you're writing a Destiny story.
Honestly, are we sure that Destiny isn't just another Elder Scrolls game?
I mean, it is. It literally, it literally is. They were like, look, okay, so the company that made Destiny is the company that made Marathon, and back in the day, doing lots of drugs was what you did as a writer.
Yeah, Michael Kirkland, I'm aware. In that case, the light is just Anu, and the darkness is just Padme. It's is and is not. It's neither good nor bad. It is.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say very very specifically. There's hive magic that lets them steal the light, for want of a better word.
Yeah,
like
steal light. Yep.
But then like there's a weird thing where there's a couple of ghosts made by the hive with stolen light.
You mean those?
Who the light judges worthy of keeping the light?
Wait, you talk about the hive ghosts from Witch Queen?
Yeah.
I thought those were just ghosts that just kind of got a remodel and shit.
No.
That was my interpretation of it.
No. Savathun?
Savathun.
Yeah, Savathun. I just want to make sure that I was getting the right horrible monstrosity.
Yeah.
Specifically has like a ritual that steals the light.
Yeah, I knew that there was a whole like the event stuff was stealing the light from Guardians, but I thought those were a bunch of ghosts that wanted partners. They just kind of went over because she provided them an easy option.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that they were like warped heavily as that. I thought they just got like a cosmetic change.
Hive magic is corrupting, but we've seen in the past, and this is now proven, that basically Guardians, if they want to, they can basically use any form of fucking magic they feel like it, especially if they have both darkness and light as their options, because they basically can just say, "Fuck you! I have cheats on my side. I'm going to do this magic now."
Yeah, and like Guardian.
If this is taking place in a cosmologically similar Elder Scrolls universe, that's literally how the universe works, and that also explains why the Guardians are always the right person in the right place.
Yes.
It's because it's literally affected by narrative structure.
Yes.
No, you're it,
No,
it's not
he's
quite the Elder Scrolls. Here's the thing: it's not quite the Elder Scrolls because there's a little more to right. There's very definitively a good guy in that the light is what would be widely regarded as a good guy. Like
that's how stories work.
No.
That's old Destiny lore.
Yeah, I think from what I remember is like light itself was never an active entity. Like the closest you could per se is the traveler.
So basically, people consider the traveler good and the light generally as good, not because it's actually good, but because they are living creatures and they like staying alive. It's like if there was a roaming bonfire around and it wasn't setting fire to everything, and it was just a nice, comfy, warm bonfire that was always guaranteed to be nice, comfy, and warm. People wouldn't be like, "Oh, it's fire! It's evil!" No, they'd be like, "Ah, it's a good bonfire." The bonfire is still a bonfire. It is subjectively and objectively completely separate in what it's good and evil and all that shit. Like, people will view it as good because it doesn't destroy things and it helps them. That doesn't mean it's actually good. It's just a bonfire.
Morality is subjective and detached from its function.
Yeah.
And its relative morality is a result of perception. I would say in that case, if I'm continuing with the Elder Scrolls comparison, then the light as a whole is probably Anu, while the Traveler is Anu.
Yes, more or less. But like I said, it's why it's very difficult to put Guardians into stories that try to do the whole macro scale shit. Like a Guardian in I don't fucking know here. I'm just gonna spitball. My Hero Academia. Works perfectly fine. Now, you're probably gonna have to work on the whole Guardian just shooting everyone bit.
Yeah, when you toss an efficient murder hobo into another setting, it's gonna have problems.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be worked on if you're gonna toss them to like My Hero Academia. It can work if you toss them. Fucking hell, it could even work if you toss them into like Madoka.
At least in Madoka, there's people who
Guardian
have to be killed.
That poor Guardian, indeed, yeah. But tossing them, even tossing them into Star Wars, you kind of have to either do something really stupid, like, oh, the Guardian ends up on the fucking Falcon, and like that's just lame.
Honestly, I think it would be important to structure the story correctly.
Yeah.
And I think rather than making them the Greek conquering hero, you could more focus on small unit operations, small changes, and the interaction of relatively small cells. And I think if you wanted to do something like Star Wars, then don't just pop them into the Falcon. You simply put them on a world where there's people that need to be helped,
Yeah.
and the consequences follow from that.
How the fuck are you making anti-entropy crystals?
The one thing I kind of have like a slight point on that reminds me of one reason why I found like an OP story. Like it wasn't great, but it was like enjoyable stuff. Simply because, yeah, the MC was the superpowered badass who could do all the shit, but it focused heavily on the interactions as a result,
Which,
as
I mean,
well as
yeah, the One Punch Man method is a very valid
ironically,
thing.
it was kind of a One Punch Man fic.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, and it works. I mean, like, a Guardian in Fallout, for example, would be a One Punch Man sort of scenario. And this is like, even your standard Guardian with your normal guns, right, would be a One
fresh
Punch
blueberry
Man.
would be fine.
Well, no, I mean...
More or less.
Yeah, basically, because, I mean, it's like... But, maybe this Guardian just likes to go out and scout and shit, and maybe poke weird things. Like, that's all they do. They don't do the big shit, because, they kind of don't want to fucking die forever, because sometimes that happens. But... so they have the normal guns, and they end up in Fallout, but, their ammo's fucking infinite, and, they don't have infinite lives as well, and their armor is probably like 10 times better than half the shit in fucking Fallout.
Well, yeah, if it just works off
Also,
magic,
fun
then
fact about
it's
the
a
Guardian
bajillion times better.
supporting themselves financially, not only could the Ghost simply manufacture completely undetectable fraud bottle caps.
Oh yeah.
The Guardian, the Ghost can simply manufacture ammo, and this is one of the really important things about Guardians. When the Ghost makes something, it is real.
Yeah.
The Guardian can throw it away, and it will continue to exist until it naturally degrades over time, in the process that any natural other thing degrades by, right?
Wait,
Yeah.
I thought that Ghost makes shit. I thought the Guardian just kind of I
no.
thought Guardians like literally just form they straight up form grenades and just
Yeah,
toss
well,
them.
it's a mix between the Guardian does it and the Ghost does it, but things like grenades, ammo, generally the smaller sort of shit they can basically just manufacture infinitely.
Because like I know I remember when I was redid my Titan character on my account that there was the new startup shows the new guy Sean Han, like he straight up forms I think it specifically said he formed a grenade out of light.
Yeah,
just on whim.
Your grenades as a Guardian are part of your uber special I'm a Guardian power.
Yeah.
Your bullets are not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Your bullets?
some of the bullets might be. I mean, this depends if you're using the, so I just went and killed a worm god, and now I'm using its spine as a sniper rifle. It likes it, I like it.
Sneaky. You're forgetting a really important part of it.
Yeah.
I killed the worm god, so he made himself into a sniper rifle and said, use me.
Yes. I mean,
that's probably one of the most awesome things about that. Like, I want a piece of that shit.
Incredibly based. Yeah, Worm God's like, holy shit, I thought I was king of murder, but Jesus Christ. Hey, you like sniper rifles, right? Big gun?
Yeah. If you have a character that strong...
like the boom boom, yes?
If you have a character that strong, you're going to struggle with telling any story. Unless, it's...
Well, yeah, but that's what we're saying, right? You can take your Guardian, and here's the thing. You can make your Guardian your Guardian.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? What I would say is, your Guardian's a weird Guardian who goes around and pokes weird things.
I honestly...
And when there's a big threat, he goes and helps with the big, right? They were invading the city. Of course he was there to take back the city. He just didn't get... He happened to be out on patrol when the city went down or whatever, right?
Right, but
and then here's the thing, right? If you want to have some fun stuff for your Guardian, give yourself some fun stuff.
Right, but going back to my example of it, so we have the Blueberry going into Fallout, right? He's basically better than everyone else. There's basically nothing there that can truly threaten him besides, like, death claws, maybe people using plasma weapons and power armor. Because that's sort of like, what are those big red dudes?
Cabal.
That's sort of like Cabal, and they can.
No, it's actually way more dangerous because Cabal are still Sneaky. You'd like the Cabal? They're still just using.
I play
slugs.
fucking Destiny. Eat shit and die.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you love their look. Like, they're still just using ballistics. They're just
they are using ballistics. I thought they were using. Oh no, it's
No.
the
Hive and maybe Vex.
It's Hive, Vex, and the
And Taken.
higher ups of the scavenger dudes that use energy weapons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are
Well,
the
no, just the
Guardians
scavengers in general. Even the
basically
basic bitch ones have.
Are Guardians what?
Are the Guardians basically just a race of murder hobos?
No.
They're basically undead.
It's a culture.
Guardian
Yeah.
isn't a race.
Yeah.
Guardians
like-
can be anyone. Guardians can be any race, including
They can
actually,
be
believe it or
anything.
not,
Robots.
the race called the quote unquote the Fallen, and they're called the Fallen because they're not actually bad guys. The
They're just
Traveler
aliens.
The Traveler was like, "Ah, shit, I'm gonna lose," so the Traveler just ditched him, bro.
Yeah.
Also, a key point: one of the Hive, one of the biggest darkness users
Yeah.
and greatest threat to the humanity, got resurrected by the apparently the oldest known ghost
Yeah.
in Destiny's history. So anything can theoretically be raised as a guardian.
Micro rockets. Oh, so they'll fit in 40K fantastically.
Yeah. So I was wrong. It's a micro rocket, but they are right. It's just a ballistics.
Right, but saying back to the point being is,
Yeah.
Blueberry and Fallout. It's basically a One Punch Man scenario. Yeah, you can have some moments where it's like, yeah, he's gotta go fight a Deathclaw, and he's got like 5.56. And yeah, the Deathclaw kind of like fucking rips him in half the first time,
And the second time.
and the fifth time.
And then it starts figuring out it can kill the
Right,
it can
yeah,
smash the ghost.
you can start, doing that. But in more or less, Blueberry and Fallout would be more along the lines of a character-driven story where it's about this guy, just going out, helping and doing what he can. And there's not going to be a lot of tension, obviously, on the main guy dying. But it's like, it's basically One Punch Man. What if Genos dies? What if One Punch Man can't get there fast enough to save Genos? And that's basically the equivalent of the sort of Fallout story you'd be writing, of where it's not the Guardian that's in danger of their adventures, it's everyone around the Guardian. And the Guardian is only good if they can guard something.
Actually, another thing, consequences of actions that were intended.
Right, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of
Orphan
that's
and I
his
were
point.
speaking the other day about what would happen when the Lone Wanderer kills Asher, the dude ruling the pit.
Sure.
And we were like, what if the raider gangs that he used to control with an iron fist just become warlords and spread horror and death and destruction now that there's no one keeping them there?
Right.
And,
generally speaking, anything trying to leave the pit is in for a really bad time, just because they're already horribly like they'll stick around for a couple years at most. But even leaving that aside, it's not like, I believe the Brotherhood goes in to clean up. It's canonical that
they did a purge. Yes.
the Brotherhood, like, you went in there, and after you got rid of the Enclave, the Brotherhood in their march to Boston cleaned out the pit, just
purged it all.
Purged it.
That
Yeah.
would be 10 years after the events of the Lone Wanderer. But what I was trying to say is that the most reasonable, or what we had decided we thought was the most reasonable outcome of killing Asher, was that because he had centralized so many raider gangs, that killing him means that those raider gangs, they're not just going to stick around because Werner somehow magically gets rid of them all. They're going to spread out, they're going to leave, they're going to go other places, and they're probably going to have a lot of firepower, and they're going to want to be raiders.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like the same thing with the Legion. If you kill Kaisar and you don't do certain Legion-based activities, the canon ending of the Legion is that the Legion breaks up and then turns into a bunch of separate warlords. I mean, it happens every single time throughout history where you have a central charismatic figure binding together large forces of disparate military. The central figure dies and the whole thing fucking shatters into giant warlords. Yeah. No, I mean,
you could have the Guardian accidentally do something like that and then realize
absolutely. I mean, you also have to keep in mind that when it's a little bit different. Say, let's use a Fallout New Vegas's timeline, for example, in this. Robert House's reactions and the NCR's reactions and Caesar's reactions are all going to be a little bit different. If instead of having to deal with some fucking weirdo and amnesiac courier who got shot in the head and still lived, and that's a little bit weird, but hey, whatever, it's just a dude
But hey,
with a gun.
we've got robots, and I'm a right, and Robert House is like, and I mean, I'm a guy in a tank. So
Yeah, it's like he's
whatever.
just a dude with a gun, you know. Okay, oh wow, he's actually really good at killing, but he's still just a dude with a gun. And then instead, you have the Guardian, and he's going around doing the same exact things that the Courier would have done, except now he's in effectively superpower armor, because it's clearly power armor, because he moves super fast and can hit super hard. But he also, for some reason, has infinite ammo, and he has all these wild weapons.
I've literally never seen him run out of bullets. Also, he has a purple glowing sword that appears to cut reality.
Yeah, and also sometimes we definitely get reports of him dying, except then we see him somewhere else, and that's weird. And so it's because the Guardian shows up as a greater threat. You can have everyone's reactions be scaled accordingly to from going from postman with a gun to holy shit, what the fuck is this Brotherhood super soldier running around genociding the local populations?
Nuke it.
I mean, it's an outside context problem, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's actually really how you have to take a lot of Destiny stories, is out of context problem, because Guardians are basically I wouldn't say as bad as a D&D murder hobo group, but definitely as bad as a chaotic neutral D&D group, where you are going to have Guardians who do dumb shit just because.
Oh yeah.
Guardians were directly inspired by World of Warcraft, which was itself inspired by
No.
D&D. They were basically murder hobos.
No, World of Warcraft was not inspired by D&D.
No, it was not.
Yes,
It
it
was
was.
inspired by
No,
Warhammer.
Yeah, it was inspired by Warhammer.
Yeah.
Which was inspired by D&D.
Try that shit. That is
Warhammer was inspired by
that's
everything,
a
my dude.
stretch, and that's a real big stretch.
Even if you are like correct, like it's so far removed at that point. Like no part of what
I would
Blizzard
say,
made.
if you really want to do the domino train here, I would say Warhammer was inspired by Tolkien more than anything.
Yeah, well, no,
Oh,
Tolkien inspired
Michael
D&D.
Moorcock.
No, Tolkien inspired D&D, which if you're being super far back, right? Tolkien inspired D&D.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Inspired
Yep.
which inspired Warcraft, which inspired Blizzard. Well, I say inspired. Inspired isn't the right word, because it's less of an inspiration and more of a it's quite literally a failed pitch.
Yeah, no, it quite literally goes Tolkien to D&D to Warhammer, which then gets a failed pitch by Blizzard done, and then they split off and make that a game. And StarCraft is also the same thing, in where they were contracted by Warhammer 40K to make a game, and then they eventually shut down the game, but Blizzard's like, well, we got all these fucking assets.
Make Warcraft.
Well,
Make
I was going to say, because
StarCraft.
it started with, we like to make a Warhammer game. And that was Orcs versus Humans, right? It's on the tin, baby.
Yeah.
But they couldn't do that. So, or rather, Blizzard didn't like it. So what happened was the pitch went nowhere. But
No, not Blizzard. Games Workshop.
Yeah, Games Workshop was like, hey, thank you for showing up. We like what you tried. How's about you make a Warhammer 40,000 is what we're pushing. We want you to take a crack at Warhammer 40,000. They did. Blizzard eventually decided, no, we don't want this. But at that point, Blizzard already had all
Games
these
Workshop
assets.
shut that one down.
Games Workshop had it done, sorry. And Blizzard already had all these assets, which they then made into StarCraft.
Yeah.
The Protoss were the Eldar. The Zerg were quite literally the Tyranids.
Yeah.
And the
Humans were just humans. Yeah.
Well, the humans were, largely speaking, they were the Space Marines, with the occasional, like, because I'm pretty sure the Ghost was just supposed to be the Vindicator.
Yeah, probably makes sense. I mean, the similarities are obvious, but point being is that Guardians are OCPs to a story, and you have to write them like that, because you can't do Stranger in a Strange World, which is a theme I prefer in a lot of stories, because Guardians are used to weird shit happening.
They're gonna shrug. They're gonna
Just
go with the
Tuesday.
flow.
Yeah, it's really
Moon's haunted,
hard
Moon-
to have a whole story based around them accepting where they are and blah blah blah, because that's chapter 1 to a Guardian.
Yeah, Moon's haunted. Sweet, let's go kill everything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just like, all right, so what
I
you're
got taken
telling
down,
me?
and I'm so disappointed.
I know, it pisses me off so much. The Moon's Haunted original video got taken down for copyright for music violations.
Really?
Yeah, it's so
Oh.
dumb. I mean, the clip's out there, but you know,
I haven't been able to find it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
So you can't do Stranger in a Strange World because that's literally just chapter 1. That's like, okay, well, the Hive did some weird ass ritual, and there's 2 moons, so I'm definitely not on Earth, but that's nothing new. I was just on Neptune or whatever the fuck. Okay, let's see.
Well, not even I was just on Neptune. But I've been in the Vex. Are the Vex messing with me again?
Right.
Or is this the
It's like,
darkness?
all right, so looking around, all right, so looks like everyone's using swords and axes and plate mail, so I'm back in time. Maybe the Vex were in on this, or Osiris is fucking with me. Okay, so let's see.
Wouldn't it be more like,
Sabathun, you
oh,
bitch! I won.
no.
You sore loser.
Like there's a lot of ways you can get a Guardian somewhere else, somewhere else, somewhen else.
Like,
The lot of
There's so much
handways.
fuckery. You
Yeah.
could just like it's like send them into some dimensional worlds. Like
It's
how'd they get there?
super easy to hand wave them, but the problem is that Guardian's not gonna have a whole moment of like, oh my god, I'm never gonna see my friends again. They're gonna be like, I'll figure something out. It's whatever. I'll
They'll be
kill
like,
some
I
people
got
in the
my
meantime.
ghost.
Kill them.
Well, yeah,
You
they'll
know
be
what?
like, do I still have the light? Yes. Do I still have a ghost? Yes. I can fix
Done.
this.
Check. All right. Well, I'll just kill people until I figure it out.
Let's see.
Well,
What looks
101.
inhuman? What looks inhuman enough that could be an enemy?
All right. What's
Ooh,
terrorizing
what's
the
those green
villagers?
things?
That thing. All right. Bang.
yeah, like as
What
I
looks inhuman
understand,
enough? What's
Yeah.
that green thing?
Alvor.
like the Guardians are pretty much universally there to help.
Yes.
In quotation marks, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely quotation marks, but yes.
Helping.
So wouldn't they just kind of be like, "Oh, another dimension? Bet. Let's go help people."
Yeah, I mean, you have three types of guardians. You have the warlocks who really like learning shit. Like they showed up a new dimension. They'd be like, "Cool, awesome. I want to learn that portal spell because there's new dimensions I can explore. Neat. B,
Well, it
I
would
want
be,
to learn
I want
this
to learn that
place's
portal
shit.
spell. B, I should probably help people while I'm here.
Well, that's C on a warlock's list of things. You know, learning new
Learn
shit
about
is
this
above
dimension.
helping, but usually learning new shit goes with helping, so it works.
Yeah.
You have
the whole-
Titans who just want to help people. They're there to help people. They like helping people. They like beating shit up and helping people, and those two go together great. And then you have your hunters, who are your scrappy rogues, who will absolutely be there for the loot. Helping people, that's
Fuck off.
cool and all. Are you going to pay me, though?
They're there
Fuck
to
off.
things.
Well, to be fair, some of the hunters are, okay, do I get, if you're not going to pay me, do I get to look cool?
Can I get,
'Cause
like,
you-
some sort of, like, gold pauldron or something?
Yeah, like,
That's the thing you cannot forget to include about hunters, is that, right, there are the hunters that are absolutely just loot gremlins, but there are also the hunters who, like Cade, are a loot gremlin and a massive egotistical show-off.
Guardians
And
are
then
like
you
a whole
also have the
hodgepodge
third
of
type
shit.
of hunter. You also have the third type of hunter, who is like the Punisher / Judge Dredd hunter, who's like, I am going to sit in this corner for the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
they'll
but we don't
know.
talk about those ones. We don't talk about those hunters because there's not a lot of them, and B, they're boring. Like,
Yes,
listen,
I mean,
they're very
Actually,
boring.
the
Yeah.
thing that can best sum up the entirety of the hunter philosophy, at least the hunters that
no
were all under
responsibility.
Cade,
They
that were
blew
at
up
least
our
at least
shit!
the ones that were under Cade 6. When the
They also
warlock
want no
asks why you,
responsibility.
not true at all. When
No,
the
no, no,
warlock asks why you have a cape, Tell them it's frabulous. They respect you if you use big words.
You know, and I
Actually,
said like no
differ a tick
responsibility.
then.
After Cade died, apparently all the hunters basically got the fuck out because no one wanted to fill the seat in, and they were starting to go stir crazy hiding.
That's pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, that
one of the weapons
Also,
has as a
I think a
description.
great exemplar of each class is the Destiny 2 launch trailer, where they're like that, fucking Zavala there representing Titans is
yeah.
like, we must do the right thing and we must help people, and
It's
fucking
like,
what's
they
her face
blow
is
all your
over there
stuff up.
being like, the things we have to learn and we will save everyone with our knowledge, and then Cade's just like, we'll get loot, and they blew up our shit.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, no, it's they blew up all of your stuff. Crickets. There will be a ton of loot.
And I'll shoot you myself.
Yes.
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
I'm sorry. I had the quote slightly wrong. Tell the warlocks your cloak is frabulous. They respect words they don't understand. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
That sums up the entirety of the hunters. Why am I doing this?
Because
Why-
I look
why do
cool
I have a
and I
cloak?
have loot.
Why do I have the
Yeah.
why is he wearing a cape?
It's just a
Those
hunting
capes
thing.
are cool.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about kind of Destiny is that in some respects you can literally do whatever the hell you want with your guardian. Like say you
Yeah.
were doing like the player guardian themselves, you could have them be like a hunter, they start as a stand hunter, but for all intents and purposes they wear Titan armor. Or they do a few other tricks because
Yeah, you
that,
could.
that
yeah.
shit is not restricted. They make
Yeah.
it quite clear that abilities and shit can swap between classes, and it's kind of just like guardians naturally lean to this kind of spiritual archetype and method. And their characters can also be varied as well, because as weird as it sounds, there are apparently pacifistic guardians formed by one of the Iron Lords, if I remember correctly, Edofried or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are guardians of all regards, but yeah, like
Aphrodite.
it's kind of interesting.
Immediately joins the Kings. Yes. But yeah, putting them into Warhammer, it's difficult. You'd have to square a lot of circles. You have to putting them into other settings like Star Wars. You could get away with it by focusing on them on like a single world. They're not fighting the Empire. Maybe that comes like in the next arc if you really want to keep it going. But like the first arc is them just making a reputation as a bounty hunter for themselves or something like that.
You could do Hunter into 40k. Have him join a group of Flash Gits to fight Chaos.
That would be kind of funny, honestly. Yeah, the fucking Titan takes over an orc warband and is like, I gotta stop them from fighting innocent civilians. And is like, Chaos, that's a good target.
This thing with tentacles that's intent on destroying reality. I should probably stop that.
I might get a sniper rifle out of it.
No, that's what the
that's what a hunter says.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
shiny
orcs
gun!
Imagine another orc warband or whatever just coming
I'm
by.
sorry,
Why are you
I'm
calling that
sorry.
Yumi? It leads
I'm
us to the
sorry.
good fights.
No. Listen, I just had a really funny thought.
Yeah.
It's a hunter who has the Whisper of the Worm, and they encounter a demon weapon, and they look at it, and it starts whispering to them, and they just look at it, and they go, right? And like super crazy powerful demon weapon, they pick it up and starts whispering, not another one of these fucking things, and they just yeet it.
Or alternatively, someone's like, "Oh, I got this blessed demon weapon, blah blah blah. 1,000 souls were forged into." It's like, yeah, that's cool. Mine's cooler. Mine's a god. Bang.
What?
Mine's a god that wanted a piece of the action I was bringing.
Mine's a god.
Which one is that?
One of the hive worm gods.
Yeah, so basically you kill one of the hive worm gods, and
Well, no, I want to be clear. This has actually happened twice.
Yes. So you kill, there's two of them, yeah. You kill the hive worm god, and the hive worm god's like, holy shit, I thought I was king of murder, but you're actually the king of murder. So here's the deal. You keep murdering, I'll turn into a cool gun for you.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Yeah, but does that god fall off? Does it fall off? What's its scaling?
There is no
It's actually
scale.
one of the best guns.
Yeah.
Yep, let's keep
paracausal entity.
murdering.
Paracausal entity. It is.
It's a
does not care.
paracausal entity wielding another paracausal entity.
I killed a god, but he was only green tier, so I sold him to the vendor.
It says will
No,
be in
no.
use.
Luckily, it's exotic. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. So Whisper of the Worm is the successor to a weapon called the Black Spindle, whose description was, and I quote, "Your only existence shall be that which I weave for you out of sorrow and woe."
Oof.
There was also the fairy that we turned into a weapon, didn't we?
Fairy?
The fairy
What?
dragon.
Yeah, Riven.
Oh,
No, that's
1,000
not a
voices.
fairy. That's more the
Amakara.
The
Yeah.
Ahamkara. They're not fairies.
Magic
they're
dragons.
Jinn. They're
They're-
Jinn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it,
basically,
Jen.
magic
Okay.
dragons that
Yeah, but aren't they
Yeah.
called like fairy bones or some shit?
No.
I thought they were.
Mm,
Anyway,
No.
so they're wish bones or some bullshit, and
Oh no, there's they were called wish dragons.
wish dragons. That's what it was. Yes, wish dragons. Yep.
mm,
By the way,
Didn't that get turned
they-
into a gun too?
no, they
Yes,
got turned
when-
into armor.
Oh,
Oh,
is that?
armor. Yes,
I
that was
know-
armor. Yep.
oh.
No. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the armor. Yep.
Because the hunters have. It's funny. The hunters.
The hunters
have,
get all the cool shit.
No, different people have Ahamkara stuff, but the hunter stuff is probably my favorite because there's the Ahamkara grasps, and hold on, I need to pull this up.
Shax,
make sure I
if I
get the-
remember correctly, has a skull of Amakara sitting above his area.
Yes, he does. It's technically not even dead.
Yep.
Technically not dead.
Yeah, well, technically they don't die until they don't exist anymore. And that's their biggest play is they pretend to be dead by being a bone, and then you pick up the bone, and it starts to feed on your desires, and then eventually it uses your desires to monkey paw you.
So I was slightly wrong. So I think it's like a chest plate or something that Titans have, or maybe it's Warlocks, where basically it's mentioned that wearing Ahamkara bones causes auditory hallucinations, but you don't need to worry about it. And then the hunters have one called the sealed Ahamkara grasps, which is plating the Ahamkara bones in silver helps to quiet the auditory hallucinations. Oh, bearer mine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's their little verbal tick is blah 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 of mine.
But I love it because it helps quiet the auditory hallucinations. Pause, and then it's like, yeah, totally, bro.
Yeah, I tell you, they work. Yeah, trust. Hey, voices, did coating them in silver work? Yeah, totally, bro. Yeah, we're quiet now.
Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
Fucking hunters. I heard
like
coating the bones in silver makes them quiet. Where'd you hear that from? The voices? Oh, cool. Let me try.
Voices told me.
I kind of find amusing that the Warlocks turned us Amakara helmet, so now they have the voice literally around their head.
No, dude. That's peak Warlock. Okay, that is peak Warlock. The voices
Yeah.
let me learn more. It's like Jesus Christ, guys, come on.
Huh.
It's one of those things that it's
Oh, voices in my head. How many licks does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop?
Okay, come on though, come on. Like, go into StarCraft with a Guardian who's wearing like the fucking Warlock helmet, the Hunter grips, the Titan chest plate, wielding the SMG Worm God and the Sniper Worm God, and the fucking Psychic's like, let me read your mind. Why are there 12 people here?
All of them believe they're gods.
Kerrigan looks at you. Why are there 12?
Would you believe
Why is there
me?
you and 11 gods?
No, that's the best part. Why are there 12 people? What do you mean 12? I only have 2 gods, 3 dragons, and myself. Oh, those other voices.
Huh, interesting. There doesn't seem to be any actual Titan Amakara items.
I swore they had one.
According to the wiki, it says some hunters and certain Titans wear armor with the bones, but as far as like gear goes, there's nothing officially listed.
Anyway,
I could have sworn we saw one. Yeah.
You probably
also-
saw maybe an NPC or something, but there might be a
Maybe.
few around there.
But there's
They're blank
there's-
armor.
There's other stuff in there that's also hilariously dumb. Like,
Yeah.
the Mida multi-tool is
Yeah.
quite literally not from your dimension.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Mida.
It's also a fishing hook.
No, Sneaky, that's the mini tool. The
Oh, my
multi-tool
bad, yeah.
is a stellar sextant, a compass, a fire starter, and a thousand other things. It's my
It's
personally
dumb.
my personal favorite is hard light, because some guys like, did we make a gun that can pull ammo from other dimensions to best suit the weaknesses of our opponents? Yes, we did.
Based.
It's on sale now.
Everyone should buy it.
It's
I have to say, I do like those kinds of guns. I like that. I loved that gun in Borderlands 2, 1, and 3. The Troubleshooter, best SMG in the game. Fucking fight me. You know, I love it when a game does that, because it's just like, wow, yeah, I really appreciate how you have all these damage types, and it's really cool. It's great. Give me a gun that does all of them, whatever one I need.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, yes. I'll read the full quote for you. Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products. The first is a quick config interface for outgoing damage. The second is a ricochet projectile that bounces off any surface. And the third is an infinite range, zero drop-off projectile weapon platform. So, we've got 3 new products in our portfolio, but unlike other product launches, we won't be staggering these releases. We'll be releasing them all at once, in a single device, in limited quantities. We call it Hard Light.
Well,
On sale now.
Purchased.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It ends with, but there is one more thing. The implication there being, it's on sale now.
Yeah,
favorite weapons.
I'm gonna be honest.
Oh.
I was autistic enough that I took the Bane to the end game of Borderlands 2.
Okay.
I don't remember the
Yeah,
Bane.
I don't know why, but I don't know
It
why.
was
but
this
that
really,
screeching-
it was this really annoying SMG that screamed at you.
Yeah.
The screaming was calming to me, and I have no idea why.
Okay.
If you
Well,
want talking guns, get the AI shotgun. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
so instead, because we do have Sign here now, I do want to move on actually to Azure Lane, of you know,
Of
Peak
course.
Horny of Hornyville.
Wait.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ikora becomes a ship girl.
No.
Get out.
Get out. Leave.
Ikora,
You're
who's
gone.
Ikora again?
Done. You're banned.
Leader of the Warlocks.
She's the incredibly annoying warlock.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't like her.
What is
No,
this? Why
no,
am I
No, see, dude,
kawaii?
this is no, see. What you do is you put a hunter into Azure Lane, and you make his spaceship turn into a ship girl.
Oh no.
No,
Wait,
Ride me
sneaky.
harder.
Wait,
Sneaky.
sneaky.
That's actually possible. One of the
Hey,
ships
it
is literally
but
made by the Traveler.
Sneaky.
Oh god.
Amanda Holiday becomes the ship girl.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Who left?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh,
She'd
we're left.
love it.
She's
would.
not a ship.
Sneaky, I hate that you reminded me of this ship, but during one of the previous seasons, we got a ship literally made by the Traveler, and we do not understand how it works other than the entire ship's paracausal.
Yep.
So that ship could go into the Azure Lane world and just turn into a ship girl for lulz, and it would technically be canonically possible.
That's fair. Oh, Alvor left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so Crown of Ice! That's what we want to read, gentlemen. This is a sex-based story between Turpitz, the ship girl, and me, the author.
Perish eternally.
Okay.
Up
How
next...
about I just ignore that and eat more smoked beef?
Up next, you know, that's based. Up next, we have Density, which is a ship girl on ship girl lesbian action. It's that's pretty much it. It is just a porn story. Next
Yes.
up, we have Birth of a Siren. 10 years have passed since the sirens started to conquer the world, and humanity is driven to the brink of destruction. This just sounds like the start of Azure Lane. Except that's precisely what they wish to avoid, and one of their own decides to enact an experiment outside of the usual suspects. History takes a divergent course. Interesting. Correction author. Okay, you created this story back in 2020. You're still wrong. Back in 2020, the current AL lore is actually the sirens are from the future. They're here to help humanity, and unfortunately, you are not human. You are a simulation. So therefore, they have no issues torturing you, so they can get answers to help the real humans, who are their creators.
Oof.
Yeah.
I love how if you take
Wait, did
out
we actually
all of
learn that?
Oh yeah, we learned
I
that a
thought it
while
was-
ago.
I remember there being a thing about there being like some supreme creator, like their god or something, but I don't remember too much beyond that.
Oh yeah, no. This was a while ago where they just straight out were just like, "Oh, you're stupid. We're not here to kill humans. We're here to save them." And the commander's like, "What the fuck do you mean by that? You're killing us all." And they're like, "Yeah, but you're not real."
Ah,
And then the commander's just like, "Yo, what?" The how many of you guys are familiar with the Payday lore video?
No.
Okay, so the Payday lore video is about 4 hours long, I believe. That's right, there's 4 hours of Payday lore. You know why there's
Yes.
4 hours of Payday lore? Because Payday lore went from, hey guys, we're here to rob a bank because we're all wanting to get rich, to, guys, we have to rob this bank so we can strategically fund the Anti-Theist Initiative. The Anti-Theist Initiative, who is a secret underground group made of Freemasons who are fighting the Illuminati, who have taken control of every position of power in the world. And we need to wage the shadow war against them to prevent them from sending drugs to Mexico hidden inside of children's toys, because that will prevent the fermentation of the Mexican Revolution worldwide annihilation event.
What the fuck?
So
Yep.
go rob that bank.
Yep.
Okay, I remember the last Payday I played was also the first Payday to come out, and it really was just, okay, go rob this bank. Why? For money.
Yes. Like I said, the Payday lore got a little wild. The AL lore is now at that point as well. We went from, oh no, these spaceship girls are invading, and we have to fight them with our own World War II ship girls and save the day, to actually you're all in a simulation and the humans were the real creators of the sirens.
Mm-hmm.
The Azure Lane lore video is on now like 5 hours long.
Yep.
Woo.
It's a fucking gotcha game which sells sex almost.
Lore video.
Because if you've
To be
seen
fair, the FGR lore video is probably over 10.
we were talking about the Payday 2 lore video where we went from stealing the bank to we have to go fight the Illuminati by stealing the bank.
Yep.
Stealing? You mean robbing the bank?
No.
They're still in the entire bank.
How are you stealing the entire fucking bank?
Oh,
Don't
Don't
question
worry
it.
about it.
you'll see.
Don't worry about it. Go watch the video.
Yeah, go watch the 5-hour video sign. But yeah, so yeah, the lore
Trust me.
gets a little bit fucky-wucky with the Azure Lane. Which is why it's a little bit cringe that he's going with a unlore-based take. I mean, it's clear he was only in it for the boobs and he tried to get serious. I
You
also
probably skipped through all the lore while actually playing the game.
now, to be fair, that's completely understandable. But still at the same time, one of the sirens decided to do an alternate history route where they helped the humans instead. It's like, all right, cool. All right, okay.
What changes? Nothing.
And not really anything, yeah. And the whole reason why they're running the simulations in Azure Lane, as far as we've been able to tell, is they're iterative, where they started the first simulation that the sirens ever did was that full-on World War II. There's no such thing as ship girls yet. The sirens just wanted to see how well fucking straight-up realism World War II would have worked out versus the sirens. The answer was they lost.
Yeah.
And so eventually over time, the sirens have been fucking with each simulation, going back farther and farther in history to introduce the technologies that allow the ship girl creation to happen, to see how that changes history. And in the current simulation, which is what Azure Lane is right now, that's why we have the Eagle Union and the Iron Blood and shit. Because ships never actually existed, like, independently, ships never existed. Like, every nation only uses ship girls. Like, no one really has made a ship since, like, the 1600s.
So since we've had wood boats, someone summoned a wood boat ship girl, and then it all went to hell.
Well, no, it's like in I think it's like early 1900s now, the current simulation is at from when they get ship girl tech.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so but the time period it's taking place in is like I'm gonna say it's like 1940s, 1950s, maybe.
I thought it was closer to, like, not quite after World War One, but I thought it was closer to that. I thought it was like the 20s to 30s.
No, because actually they just revealed not just revealed, but it was a couple months ago, they actually revealed a new set of ship girls for the Americans, which is the Yorktown 2, a couple other version 2s of those ships, and those are the new ones that we just started producing recently.
I see.
So, and these were introduced as far in the future ships, which means we're definitely, like, maybe in the 1980s then. But yeah, so you know, it is what it is. The lore is wild and wacky, and it's not Ace Combat level yet.
Not yet, but it's
Ace Combat is like.
Is it getting to Doctor Who levels though?
Ace Combat is low key, almost as drugged out as Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, it's getting close. No, nothing is more drugged out than Elder Scrolls lore.
Yeah, sorry. You're not going to convince us that anything is more drugged out than the lunatics.
I always love the lore for Azure Lane, not because of its wackiness or whatever, because it's a very massive dichotomy, right? So the narrative is like, oh, we're having a parallel universe invasion of the evil versions of the ship girls who have been brainwashed by the sirens, and now you have to fight to defend New York so you can rewind time to undo New York being erased. And it's like, okay, that's incredibly intense. And then it's like the art for it though is like, yeah, so we got a bunch of naked lollies and naked large-breasted women, and yeah, some of them are only wearing towels over their nipples. It's like, fucking what? Azure Lane, it's just like, this is the lore. All the way over there, that's the art.
Here's the lore and here's the sex. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh god. What? Biggest crossover with the why is Ruby the second most popular Azure Lane crossover?
Why first?
Why are you not? I'm not surprised. What's the number one?
Contai, which is the most obvious
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I say it's the most obvious, and I only say it's the most obvious because people are retarded. Contai and Azure Lane are incompatible completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I did have a one shot
Blow
that
retarded.
bounced around in my mind a long time ago of it was a siren showing up to attack whatever, but it's actually the Contai verse, and the Abyss just being like, hey, Lamau, get fucked by the
That's
sins. Get fucked by your sins.
Yeah. My sin futa energy.
Yeah,
Excuse you?
yeah, we're just gonna skip
Yeah,
that.
what?
We're just gonna skip right
I'm
over
gonna
that.
pretend you never
Yeah.
opened
You
your
heard me.
goddamn mouth.
Yeah, we're just
A
gonna
lot of
skip
people
right over
do,
that.
but then I keep opening my mouth.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like Azure Lane ship girls run off of weird pseudo psycho magic. Ooh woo, we got a Wololo cube here. You poke the cube and it pops into a ship girl. Contai Collection works off of literal like having a ship birthing ceremony, you know, like where you smash the wine and shit, and you're all playing music, and you're basically trying to do a ritual to call back the deceased spirits of the crew that manned the ship to coalesce together into a ship girl to fight off the coalesced spirits of angry ship people who died in a way they didn't like, who are now attacking them. Yeah. Contai is a little bit wild as well, but it's a lot more mystical voodoo, and Azure Lane's a lot more sci-fi woohoo, and they're just not compatible at all.
Well, I mean, it could be compatible if you went, okay, well, the Azure Lane girls are the new version, something we're experimenting with, so they don't do the voodoo.
No, see that's the problem though. Is it doesn't work because the wisdom cubes weren't invented by people. They were brought by the sirens.
Well, sirens came in and they started playing. But again, back to the abyssal.
Yeah. Because the whole thing with the abyss is, you know, woo woo, your sins will blah 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 resurrect the ships of you know, disgraced and dishonored and blah 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 whatever. I'm not sure what you're referencing, but based. Phoenix, would you do it all over again, knowing what you know now, knowing you'll end up here at gunpoint? I know I'm supposed to say no.
This is
but yeah,
isn't this a weird parody of the ending of Worm: The Golden Day with Contessa standing over Taylor? Would you do it all over again, knowing what you know now?
I mean, I guess it could be a weird parody. Somebody was talking about Worm,
Oh,
Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't say Suicide is badass. I mean, I feel like that's a really weak attachment to that whole scene.
I can't believe that
Be
Taylor
like,
gets signed by dropping
somewhere
her
along the way I
monster-
realized that, you know, I killed a fucking god.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I care being held at gunpoint now? I did something completely over the top awesome.
Fucking ball so big she's got to carry around a monster condom for that magnum dong.
Yeah. From out of the Azure main, a Arknights
No.
Azure Lane crossover. Jesus Christ.
No.
That's a fucked up world. That's a really fucked up world.
Star Trek Azure Lane, Peruvian
Oh,
Lane,
that's
Yeah. Why does Star Trek Azure Lane have a 275,000 word story for it?
Fuck you,
I
that's
mean,
why.
we gotta find out, don't we?
Inspired by Can Cole, Azure Lane covers all the series. Wait, what? All the Star Trek series.
Yeah.
That's what. I was
That's so they fundamentally have misunderstood Cancol, Azure Lane, and Star Trek.
yes.
Awesome. That's exactly what I want to see.
It's fan fiction. Anything can happen.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
Oh.
Hey, remember Tuesday when you told me it's fan fiction and anything can happen? Guess what? It's funny.
No.
Our author has written 219 stories.
Andrew Joshua Talon. I feel like I know that author from
Yeah, I know
somewhere.
that name.
Jesus
He
Christ.
writes Naruto.
He writes a little bit more than Naruto.
Yeah, but I think he had some of the better Naruto stories.
Better.
I have
Yeah,
moved all of
better.
my stories. I have moved my stories. He's removed some.
Probably.
They're all on Archive of Our Own.
He's got his statistics on his fucking Facebook profile, on his
Yep.
fanfiction profile.
Yep.
Favorite lists, authors alert lists. 1,446,000 words archived.
Yep.
Nothing.
That's
Only
Death
on
to
Vita?
Mary Snooze.
That's a thing. That is a thing. What's his highest word count story? That one. The Star Trek Azure Lane one where he doesn't know shit. Cool.
And then Naruto Kingdom Hearts.
Rewritten as Key Through the Heart, and it's Key Through the Heart is nowhere near the top at all. So that's probably dead as shit.
Oh,
Well-
I take it back. He wasn't one of the better ones. He was one of the more infamously worse ones. My
Yeah,
bad.
I was about to say, I don't think this is a good one, dude. I think you're remembering shit a little bit
I
wonky.
remembered the name, and I remembered there's a reason I remembered it, but I thought it was because he was on the list of good shit. No, turns out he's on the other list.
What
I think
the
he's
fuck?
also known for having really shit Harry Potter fics.
Yep. Well, yeah. Here's one for example: biting the hand that feeds you. Starting in 6th year, how do you stop a genocidal wizard? You should just try appeasement. If it sinks your entire economy, that just means things are interesting. What a garbage fucking summary. Featuring Harry Potter and his harem of Hermione, Luna, and Pansy.
Listen, I like hate fucking as much as the next person, but him and Pansy ain't getting it on.
No.
Ever.
Nah.
Well, baby.
Oh, there is one really old fucking 4-chapter with Naruto 1010 that I remember. This is where I remember him from. Where Naruto makes really good explosive tags and 1010's all for that because apparently she gets hot for explosions.
I mean,
Literally
bitches
4,000 words.
love explosions.
Literally just 4,000 words, but that was the very first fucking fic of his that I've ever read.
Okay. So, you know what? I will say,
2008. Wow. this
Sign,
is-
when you were listing all the stories you've written, I didn't realize I had actually favorited one of your stories long before I ever met you.
Really?
That
Which
was
one?
Tanya in Familiar of Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious, and then I was like, I saw you list that as one of your stories. I was like, wait a fucking second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I think I can
Fucking hell,
find this author on the Cauldron member list. Yeah, you probably can.
He's been here since the year 2000. He had a profile, and he's a friend of his that died in 2002 is in remembrance on his profile. So
Mm.
yeah, you probably could.
So that would make him, what, let's see, as old as Sign?
Probably. Let me think.
Well, I mean, average of 12
Um,
to 14 years old when you first find fanfiction.net.
3. That would be like 37-ish, 35, 37.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he could also be older because he could have been around since.
Oh,
became a
well, yeah,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, so, I mean, I'm just using the
Yeah.
averages. So, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, fanfiction.net started in like I think it was like 98 or something though, right?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't it 97? I thought I remember it coming up and I said, oh, that's the same year I was born or something like that.
97, 98, one
It's
or the other.
possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, holy
then
shit, you were
with the
born in
pages.
97. Jesus Christ.
I am 25, yes.
Curse of Ages.
Turning 20. I turned 26 this year in December.
I need you to stop existing for me.
I mean, I'm drinking enough that I'm trying. It's
So-
just failing.
You know, just to get back on fanfiction, I will say, so recently I was reading a Wuxia story, and there was actually a pretty solid line in it, right? And the story advertised itself as generic Wuxia story, and so far they've been anything but all of the garbage trash shit that usually finds in Wuxia stories. I'm like, I don't know what kind of generic definition you're using, but I'm here for it. But anyway, so at one point, the main character confronts a person who has ascended to godhood. About why they're allowing, basically the previous arc was a whole bunch of shit, really terrible shit happened to people that this person was the leader of. And the main character is like, yo, what the fuck? Why did you allow all of this terrible shit that killed hundreds of us to happen? And, you know, he's confronting him, and at one point, the main character says something along the lines of, what makes your word have more value than mine? And the godlike character looks at him and goes, well, it's quite simple. Rain. And it starts raining. And he turns to the main character and goes, how about that? It looks like my word does have more value than yours.
Nice.
Yeah. On the other hand, this godlike being has just made someone start up a quest to kill God, but yeah.
But now I want to include that into Undying Scarab in some form, since Taylor is now the walking embodiment of the concept of the end.
Yeah. Why does your words have more concept than mine?
You vile abomination! What makes you think your word is valuable to us? Very simple. Die, someone dies. Live, they get back up. Would you look at that? It appears my word does have more value.
All right, that's a pretty good one.
It is.
Reminds me of your talk of guys in DxD being very different in power. Yeah, DxD's got some wild power scaling.
Yeah, it does. The fucking what they call the top 10 strongest is basically useless compared to what the actual.
The
fucking
top
power
10
scaling is.
strongest list is literally just a fanon list.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about like fanon. I'm talking about like in universe fan list.
Yeah, people go like, this person's so strong, he's number whatever. And the only thing that's accepted is Ophis is number 1 because not enough people know about
the only thing
Great
that's
Red
accepted
somehow.
is Ophis and Big Red are not included on the list because they're just above everyone else. It's like
No, the thing is, wasn't Ophis at one point brought up as number 1, and then we were showing Great Red, and we were like, what the fuck? Does no one just know about Great Red? Does he just hang around with the outside of everyone's view?
I mean, he's the Dragon of Dreams, and he lives in a dimension where people typically don't exist. I mean, so yes, the average person doesn't know about Great Red, but all the gods and all the upper management do.
He's hard to get to.
But every upper god and upper management is all too prideful to also bring him up because he's stronger than them.
Well, no, there's just no point in bringing him up. He doesn't
Yeah.
leave the dimension.
Yeah.
He's been there for literally
Which also
like
makes
hundreds
you
of
wonder.
years.
Which also makes you wonder what the fuck happened in the past that people actually know about Ophis. Who fucked up bad enough to bring Ophis's attention onto them that the entire world remembered?
Wrong direction. Great Red decided that the dimensional gap would be a great place to chill, and Ophis, who liked silence because they were born at the dawn of blah 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 whatever, didn't like that and tried to fight the Great Red, but they were literally on equal power levels, but the Great Red was the Dragon of Dreams and thus creativity, and so would always beat the Dragon of Infinity, because while they both had
Stagnation.
infinite power, only one of them was trying to use their power in ways that was different. And so she eventually ended up leaving the gap, and which is why she's on the planet roaming around now, just handing out power to anyone who asks, because she's fucking retarded.
I'm just still curious, because if Ophis was in the dimensional gap for who knows how long before Great Red showed up,
Yeah.
like how did people know about Ophis? Unless when she left, she threw out a huge hissy fit and destroyed a bunch of shit.
Well, I mean, it's entirely possible, but you have to keep in
That's what I'm
mind
curious.
that these two creatures literally have an infinite lifespan that starts at the beginning.
They predate
So,
God.
Ophis saying he kicked me out a while ago might have been he kicked me out before the planet was formed.
Or kicked me out when the world was still one giant continent and I broke it up in a hissy fit.
Yeah, it's literally like when you're working on a time scale of literally since time and was invented. You know, them saying recently doesn't mean last week.
Geologically recently.
Solaric recently.
Yeah.
Recently, Albion and Drake were still fighting out unsealed.
Yeah. So that's why maybe more people know about Ophis than Great Red, and why only people who are really, really fucking old or in positions of power where they need to know about the two know about them.
So you need to know that there's a really angry dragon.
Welcome to leading this faction. So on the docket here is the Dragon of Obliterate Us All and the Dragon of Obliterate Us All V2. Now,
One prideful god. I can take him. The previous king of gods. All right, time to find a new successor.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. But then that power level goes all the way down to, hello, I am average human, I can cast Fireball.
Yeah, that was seen as sort of
He's
strong
retarded.
in the first season. Like Sacred Gears that lets you use a fireball was seen as decently powerful.
Yeah,
And then you go to season I think by 2 or 3 with Kokabiel, it's like, yeah, no, get fucked.
Yeah, at the end of 1, I believe Kokabiel shows up. I don't know. I never watched
Was that
the
the
anime.
end of 1?
One of the first arcs was literally the Kokabiel arc.
No, that was
it
was like second or third, because the
It was
first was
third
Asia.
Because, the first was Asia, the second was Phoenix,
Riser,
and then
and
it was
Kokabiel.
Kokabiel. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I
It
always
was season
thought
2.
Asia and Riser were
Okay.
just both mixed season 1, and Riser was the end of season 1.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I never watched the anime.
Neither have I. That's just what I've
God,
got from fanfiction.
okay, look, this is really fucking haunting, okay? I get it, some people want ice cream at 9 o'clock, but what I don't need is the echoing sounds of an ice cream truck at 9 fucking p.m. when it's pitch black out.
Listen, it still wants you to buy ice cream. You gotta go, brother. Mate, come on.
It's glowing.
How many weeks in a row is it now? What, like a whole month of that ice cream truck showing up at this time?
Okay, also, what the fuck, author? Like, seriously, come the fuck on. Actually, I shouldn't use those words because, Jesus Christ, I don't want you anywhere near those words. Yeah, he is coming. Because it says, friendship is kinky, My Little Pony, where I go to pony hell and fuck the ponies.
With Twilight Sparkle and the Pony Doctor Who XP. Nice.
Yeah. 77,000 words of it.
Complete. From published 2011. Updated, can't tell because the Discord names block it.
Progress. I don't like the sound of that. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. 1,000 years is quite the generation gap. Yeah. So Princess Luna decides she has to get with the times. However, this is not as easy as she thinks it will be. That's disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Plug suits, not your average self-insert fic. The SIs are killing all of your heroes. This is an Evangelion story? Of course it is.
The Evangelion heroes kill the self-inserts.
Oh. No, not
bad
curious at all.
self-inserts. Bad self-inserts are killed by heroes, which means you've got a single good one that's going to dominate everyone else. Yeah, great.
Cool.
Nice to know how your story's going to go.
The Heir of Gondor, a Harry Potter Lord of the Rings
Shut
crossover.
the fuck up.
Harry draws different
Why is
sword in
Shelob-
Chamber of Secrets.
Why the fuck is Shelob there with Petunia? What?
Yeah. Oh, you know why Shelob's there. You're gonna get
With
some.
Petunia
Gonna
Dursley.
cast some Australian magic to
Shelob.
get it on with the spider.
You know what? Fair.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry, but when you said get it on with the spider, my mind went to Ragnar, and I was like, yeah, I can accept that.
Australian magic.
Mitsumi spider.
Yeah.
I can accept them. Did we just leave with horny spider? Max?
Who did we lose to the horny spider?
Max.
No, Max is still here.
My
He came back.
Oh.
Horny
Oh wow.
spider.
So
I stepped away for a
Max,
minute.
what part did you come back in on?
No. You guys talked about Shelob. The whole sexy spider comment was made, and then my Discord just killed itself. At this stage.
Ancient Australian magic. Ancient Australian magic.
Discord's just like, I'm out.
It
I'm
was
gonna be
trying
honest,
to
though,
save me, not realizing it would just bring me right back here.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest though, when anyone talks about sexy spider, I just think of Ragnar from Monster Musume, and I was like, yeah, I can give that a pass. You'd lose your head, but I can give that a pass.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. You mean smash, because pass is skipping.
No, I'll skip that, but you can smash it.
No, I'll skip it too. Max, it's all on you.
Smash with a boot.
Alright, Sign, go ahead, man. We're rooting for you.
Actually, yeah, if anyone's going to, it's gonna be Horny Prime.
Yep, Horny Prime.
Trust
I need pictures first.
Monster Musume, Ragnar.
Yeah.
Let me get it.
Hang on, let me look.
I mean, there's also Shelob from the games.
We don't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about that.
Well, you don't want to talk about Sexy Spider?
No,
I mean,
I don't. Especially not because
Well-
she steals the ring, and then decides that Talion has given her a ring, and she decides that Ghost Wraithman is her new finger.
Wait, I gotta see this. I've got Shadow of War, but I haven't played the game yet because I got it for free. Wait, she's fuckable. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, here you go.
Why?
Here's Shelob, the Sexy Spider.
Wait, why is she fuckable?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
is
best
this the first
And
time
here's
you've seen the
the best part is this is what she starts off the cinematic as.
I just about to post this.
Yeah. Starts off the cinematic as that, ends the cinematic as
Ooh.
that. You're just like, I am confused.
Yeah.
Why
That-
is she
that
fuckable in
was
Shadow of War?
Such a weird choice on their part.
I'll see your spider and raise you another spider.
I can tell you exactly why they made her such. It was the devs.
Yeah.
Well, we know it was the devs.
Horny,
and
what are
they-
you posting? Is it Ragnar?
Yeah, the devs were horny posting.
Oh! Ah, Kuram.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, her too.
Spider guess as well. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I've always
She
preferred
becomes
Gulahands.
actually human.
Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of So What If I'm a Spider. Like, it's kind of started like until she broke free, I was there for it.
Yeah.
The second she
light
got,
novel or the anime?
I've read the manga.
Oh, okay, there's your problem.
Yeah, when she broke free of the labyrinth, it started just getting really dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, it actually does get a little bit dumb, but it also gets super serious and actually really, really good in the light novel.
Yeah,
The
I
anime,
heard that.
not so much.
I'm aware. No, like don't get me wrong. I didn't stop reading it. I kept reading it for quite a long time past that point. So I got to all the super serious points in the light novel effectively. I just
But still
didn't.
wasn't-
I didn't like it. It was a major tone shift. Her powers rebelled because reasons, and like, were the reasons good? Yeah.
Well, no, her powers didn't
Fine.
rebel.
Yeah, they rebelled.
No.
When she became a god?
No.
When she became a god, that wasn't her power rebelling.
No. I'm talking about the time where her spiders ate the matriarch's spirit or whatever,
Oh, that.
and then decided they wanted to kill all humans.
Wasn't that
That-
explained that
okay.
the spider, the mother's will was effectively corroding them?
That's
and kind of
what
crushing them?
that's what I
That's
said.
not what it was. That's not what it was. What it was the level 10 heresy skill. Basically, they learned the truth of the world and that they needed to kill all the humans in order to resurrect the goddess Serial, to actually fix the world. And that's why they began doing it.
Yeah, okay, well, they didn't explain that part until way later. They originally
Yeah,
explained it
that's
as
in
the...
light novel.
Yeah, I know. They explained...
In the manga, though, they didn't explain that till way
In
later.
the manga, they explained it as the mother's will, and then way later, they explained the truth.
Yeah.
My point
I'm gonna
is...
be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I only kept watching just because I like white albino chicks with white hair and red eyes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely understandable. But it's just I didn't care for the super extreme escalation. I thought the whole they're now rebelling thing was kind of dumb. I got it. I understood it. I think it's a really shit plot mechanic. I was reading this Taylor the monster story where Taylor has the ability to get powers from D&D monsters. I know Sign at least knows about it because it was talked about in his fucking
I think I know which one
Discord.
you're talking about.
Yeah, like, it was okay. It started off all right. You know, I was there for it. But as the story progressed on, he just kind of was just like, so you guys know how Taylor is? Yeah, fuck that shit. We're not even bothered trying to even remotely write Taylor anymore. I'm just going to use the excuse that all the monsters she's absorbed has affected her personality. And just, well, whatever I write Taylor as that day, that's the new canon for Taylor. It's like,
Yeah.
That's
all
incredibly
right.
stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. And then
Okay, having a personality shift would make sense, but only in small increments, I guess.
Well, see, that's the problem when you're doing narrative, is that if you're doing the narrative from the perspective of Taylor, it's really hard to show the personality shift. And I know what I'm fucking talking about because I literally did this shit with fucking Undying Scarab.
Yep.
It's really hard, and you kind of have to be simultaneously really obvious about it, but also subtle.
Yeah. Obviously subtle.
Yeah, and it's a really hard balance to strike, and they did not strike that balance. They were just like, oh, she touched the monster. Oh, she feels totally fine. Now she's gonna do completely out of character actions, and then we're gonna retroactively say that was because she changed monsters.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And then the second arc of that story was literally Taylor gets two evil dimensional traveling clones of herself that have all her powers and want to destroy the world. Arc 2.
No.
Why?
And so the author basically used these clones to bum rush the worm plot by having the clones force Taylor to not like slowly escalate, but just have to go fucking right out the bat. You go grab a whole bunch of super strong monsters, undergoes massive personality changes. You know, the Cauldron gets immediately involved. The PRT gets immediately involved. Everyone gets immediately involved. All the gangs are killed off immediately.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense.
Arc 2.
Why?
Arc fucking 2.
No.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what the fucking hell at this point? but you know, it's that's sort of like my whole problem with what if I'm a spider. I was there for the whole, you know, okay, so they're a spider, they're weak, they're easily killed, they gotta do smart shit. That's cool. I love it when the authors do that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was I super enthused by them getting 10 bajillion upgrades every time they killed something? No. However, they did kill some really important things, and they did it in creative ways, so I was like, alright.
I mean, that's why I stopped reading Monster, I think it is, the one where the guy gets reincarnated as a goblin, because they took away every single bit of, like, kind of, tension, because he just became way too strong.
Yeah, and like, but
he
like,
leaves
that's
the
thing,
forest
though.
and nothing can kill him.
Right, but that's the thing, though, is that, so what if a spider kept me there just a little bit longer, because the thing she kept fighting kept being stronger, and, you know...
And then she became a literal god.
Yeah. And then the whole thing with Ariel, where she merged with Ariel, and I was kind of just like, bro, fucking what?
On the other hand, Shiori and Ariel's head being a literal fucking brainworm dancing around was fun to see in the anime.
That was fucking hilarious. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's got its moments that were good, but I was just like, it really lost me with how quickly it went from like, okay, this is gonna be a gamer story about some escalation and killing shit in a dungeon. I'm like, all right. Not enthused, but I'm here for it. Kind of cute, a lot of cute. Okay, significant amounts of cute going on here. And then it's like, oh, by the way, we gotta genocide all 9 billion humans so we can resurrect the god, because the world is falling apart. It's like, oh. Okay. Well, I guess we're doing this then. Like, I thought it was really clever that she gets told by the evil god that she has a power that can disintegrate anything living that it touches, but she can only use it by using her claws. And then she's like, oh, okay, and then rips off one of her claws, puts it on a staff, and is like, okay, well, now I can use the power because the claw isn't alive anymore. And you said I can cast it through the claw. It's like, okay, that's well played.
And then you find she's actually a clone of D.
Yeah, wasn't the real Shiori or whatever the one that's like in charge of the system or whatever?
Yeah.
And that was just a clone or NPC?
Administrator D, she's the one in charge of it, and Shiori is her clone. It's like a piece of her soul combined with the soul of a house spider.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Effectively a clone / daughter.
So basically, she was always essentially a god. She was in charge of the system and everything.
No, D was. Shiori was not, but she was heading there anyway.
No, not Shiori, but I meant
she
like
effectively had a fragment of her essence, her trace. That was at most she had. She was meant to be a diversion.
Yes.
Oh.
From her maid who makes her work.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, so Kumoko's whole thing was she was literally just live bait. She was not meant to be as you could say she had the god potential, but her origins were literally just here's a flare.
A distraction specifically so her other self could fuck off, play video games, and eat junk food in modern day Japan instead of doing actual work.
The hero and the demon lord literally tore a hole in dimensions to try and kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the class was just collateral damage.
And she felt bad.
So
I thought she thought it was hilarious. I thought she thought it would be hilarious to see what happens.
She did. A bit of both.
Yeah.
She felt bad, but she also thought it would be fucking hilarious.
Well, yeah, she's like, okay, it's my fault that you guys got cut short, but so I'm gonna give you all god potential and put you in here.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna just straight gender swap one of you because laughs.
Well, he was a dick to her, and she thought it was hilarious. Also, she literally shrunk the boobs of basically everyone because she was jealous.
Yes, well, except for a vampire girl who she actually Gave a hand up. Yeah, she liked, I guess.
Ah,
hilarious
she
to
knew
see
what it
a
was like to
god
be
be
part
so
of the
petty
inner
like that.
Mm.
Harry Potter and the Heir to Gondor. You see, Harry pulled the Sword of Gondor out of the sorting hat and killed the basilisk by shooting a fireball at it through the Sword of Gondor.
Except that doesn't
Gondor or
work because
Gryffindor?
Basilisk. That
Gondor.
doesn't really Gondor, which doesn't really work because the Basilisk is extremely magic resistant. So
Also, the Sword of Gondor
That-
definitely can't fucking do that.
And it just insta-gibbed the basilisk, and Voldemort was like shocked Pikachu face.
that
And then he
God.
stabbed the book with the sword, and the book
This
exploded.
is a fusion.
Yes, it's a fusion
Yeah,
world.
it's a
Yeah.
shitty fusion.
Okay, no. To be fair, though. To be fair, though.
No, don't be fair to this hat.
No.
That means
no,
Shelob is going to be a
hold on.
literal acromantula, isn't it?
Hold
They're going to
on.
have him fuck an animal.
It's a fusion world because Lord of the Rings is a fusion world.
Shut the fuck up.
Excuse fucking you?
No,
He's
not
using
I'm
wrong.
right.
he's
He's
using a
not
very
wrong.
technical shit post to
He's
trigger
not
people.
wrong, but
So Tolkien,
He's correct only in
Did
the most
something-
technical of senses.
in the same fashion that authors like Lemony Snicket did. Yes, I'm aware it's a pseudonym. Tolkien, in his foreword, claimed that he did not write The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. He claims that he is merely a translator of the documents he found detailing the events that occurred. Because actually, Middle Earth is prehistory.
wait, what? What about that? What I thought he created the Hobbit as a bedtime story for his son, but his son
Yeah,
remembered the details so
initially,
well.
yes.
Oh my god. Yes, that is the
That-
actual lore. I am claiming what the I'm telling you what the author is setting up as lore,
fuck
meta
off.
lore. Yeah, he's setting up
Fuck
meta
off.
lore. So quite
No,
literally,
the whole reason Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings after The Hobbit, let's be clear, after The Hobbit,
after the Hobbit, yeah.
was because Tolkien he looked at the English, right? The English specifically, and was like, damn, we don't have anything sick-ass like Cuchulainn or
Mhm.
the Greek god, right? We don't have anything that's
Yeah,
sick like that. So
they
I
had
want to give us mythology.
King Arthur, but that's it. They had King
They
Arthur, but that's
had
about it.
Arthurian legend.
They had Arthurian legend, which still to this
Wasn't-
day is effectively
isn't
considered somewhat canon.
Fanfiction.
Yeah, it was. There's a period of time in Britain where there's not a lot of history, and the Arthurian legend fills that gap, and so people kind of have to look at it and say, obviously, the crazy shit with the 100-foot giant isn't real, but it's basically what happened back then. And
But other
so,
than that, a lot of ancient fucking British history
yeah,
is being part of the Roman Empire, losing to the Roman Empire, losing.
And because
Unless
of,
it's against themselves or being
Yeah,
enslavers.
well, not
and
only that,
colonizers.
it's also the fact that they had lots of incoming groups of people that joined. There was the Britons, there was the Anglos, there was the Saxons, and it came the
Saxons.
Anglo-Saxons, and then the Britons joined the Anglo-Saxons, and
Didn't the French also take a bunch of fucking land
that was the
around the
Saxons.
Commonwealth? That was
Yeah.
the Saxons? Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, so effectively, British culture it didn't have the roots that Welsh, Scottish, Irish did, because those groups were there actually for a long
Yeah.
period of time, while a lot of British culture is tribes moving to that land and being good enough at war to keep it for an extended period of time.
Mm.
And so they didn't get
Until
the whole
Romans.
well, no, I mean the Romans kind of cut their way in, and that's how the
Yeah.
tribes are able to follow in. Because I mean, Londinium, quite literally is a Roman settlement.
Yeah.
So the tribes moved in after Romans left. But what I'm saying here is that they don't have founding myths like the Romans, like the Greeks, like the Irish, because they were tribes that moved away from their lands.
Yeah. They don't have any sort of creation myth. That's probably the reason why Christianity got such a foothold in Britain and Londinium and all that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not creation myths. It's just, well, the Romans pushed Christianity really hard.
No, the British literally don't have creation myths. There's no British religion.
Yeah, no, there isn't. That's if
Not
you ask
British,
what.
but
Like there might be
that's what we're saying.
there might be things like Woden and all that, but again, that's from the tribes. That
And that's
fucking-
not only that. Not only is that from the tribes. That's from the Scottish and Welsh and Irish. That's not British.
Yeah.
So effectively, you know, there isn't a lot of myth for the British people, which is why Tolkien wanted to create like an origin story, which is where The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings come from. The finished versions.
Language primer.
Hmm.
I heard he made The Hobbit as an Elvish language primer.
Also possible.
It's because he was a huge fucking neat.
Yeah, he was a massive language nerd. He created several languages just because he could.
Yep. He created the fucking. Are they're orcs? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, orcs, elves, dwarves, the creation language. Yeah, he created a couple.
Dwarven, Elvish, and something else.
Did the trolls have their own language?
He also invented Mithril.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mithril wasn't an actual fucking thing. Orc Alchem was, but Mithril wasn't a fucking thing before Tolkien.
Yeah, Orc Alchem actually came from French.
We lost someone again.
Alchemy, French alchemy. That was Atin.
Yeah.
He always leaves at 9. No one cares about him.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna go grab more alcohol.
That's fair enough. So yeah, I mean, generally, the story is major cringe. It's just manipulative Dumbledore. Rings of power, possibly might end up in this world. Harry has the sword, blah blah blah. You know,
Magic the Gathering, Black Aragorn.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Fuck off.
I hate that shit so much, and not even for a political reason. Like we just talked about, Lord of the Rings was supposed to be the British creation myth. Yes, it's supposed to have mostly white people in it, because it's the British creation myth. It's like, man, there's too many Irish people in the Irish creation myth. There's too many Greeks in the Greek creation myth.
Sneaky, you're forgetting about 2 weeks ago. There's no such thing.
Yeah, that's right. There's no such thing as Britons. Yeah.
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 It was actually a black people land.
Yeah. Poison of Affection. In the seas and straits of the Isle of Patch and Vale, there were hushed whispers of a Great War era battleship. See, that's the other shit. Like, there wasn't many battleships. Like, there was no fucking navy for some reason in RWBY.
No.
For most.
Well, no, I can. No. No navy is kind of fair because with all those fucking sea fey longs.
Right, but that's my point, though. Is like, oh, there's whispers of a Great War era battleship. A battleship to do what?
Die to Grim.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, the only ones that go by sea and not air are literally the old fishermen, but that go like, fuck it, I'm happy to die.
Well, I mean, I figure, well, it's sort of like a, does the person see the ant, you know?
Yeah.
If I'm a single person on a small fishing boat, I'm probably not going to get attacked by a leviathan.
Yeah. But if you've got a big enough boat
with
then
enough
you're
people
gonna get
on
attacked
it,
by everything.
Yeah.
One person's emotion probably isn't enough, except for maybe something very small that one person could, even without aura, probably take care of.
What the fuck? Ulrich von Hutten, Ruby Rose? What the shit?
Excuse you?
What? Okay,
Ulrich
so
von Hutten. Isn't Ulrich from Azur
It's an
Lane?
Azure Lane, yes.
Azure Lane?
So yeah, this is the
Hey! Azure Lane hasn't even fucking taken over.
yeah, Azure Lane has not taken it over yet. So yeah, Sign, here she is. You can go be horny on her.
That just looks like older Ruby self-cest they're going for.
Well, no, it's literally Ruby is that character.
Oh. I thought
Yeah.
that was the pairing. Ulrich
No,
von Hutten and Ruby.
no, this is an exclamation
Oh.
point, which means the character is an XP.
Oh yeah.
Which it's just like, how the fuck are you gonna square this circle? Oh, what Summer Rose found the Great War battleship of Atlas in the straits between Vale and Patch, and it turned into a ship girl, which is not from Azure Lane. That's Contempt collection. And now it's her daughter, who's a grouchy emo teen.
I can't believe Summer Rose got pregnant on a ship and it became a ship girl.
Yeah. She got filled with semen.
By
Get out.
Gang.
Come on, that was so. No.
No, it was hilarious. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
It was
what's wrong
great.
with you guys? That was great. Yeah. Oh.
Not sure why.
And I'm not
Signs
just
upset.
saying that because
was
me
a
and
joke at his
Sneaky
level.
share.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not
I
just-
wanted to make sure this was an all audiences joke. That's why I
Yeah,
included Signs level.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that was a great joke just because me and Sneaky share a sense of humor and
Yeah.
alcohol tolerance.
Exactly.
So you're definitely not biased.
No,
at
no
all.
bias here.
Absolutely not.
The one who fell from grace 11 months after the battle for Iceland, an innocent person is framed for something they didn't do. Yes, that is typically what innocent means, author.
Yes.
It's also what frame usually means.
Yeah. They're framed for something they
Like, in
did
a pic-
do. It's
They're in a picture? What?
No, it's like if you commit murder against someone and then someone else frames you for committing the murder because they don't like you, and they're like, oh, this will be a great opportunity to frame him for committing that murder, and then the cops
All of a sudden the
arrest you,
evidence-
and you're just like, but wait, how did you know?
How did you know? No?
That would be the best twist. Like, you go to the court, it's like, here, I just have one question, Your Honor. How did you know?
They're like,
Person
what?
who planned it was like, wait, what?
What do you mean, no?
I did it. You mean I didn't frame you for just for shits and giggles?
Wait, you're the one that tipped off the police?
Wait. Yeah, you stole my donut last week.
And are forced out of the country they made. Interesting story. But they will try to prove themselves innocent by becoming the villain.
Continuation from the Lost Battleship.
Of the Southern
Oh,
Trench.
this is a sequel.
Mhm.
Is this a sequel?
Yeah, it's a sequel.
Wait,
Oh
the
boy,
country
what
they
a
made,
riveting,
he
guys,
was
are you ready for the
changed.
most riveting combo? Are you ready for the most riveting combo ever?
Captain
I'm
America's cousin is
never
Bismarck.
War of Worlds, Slime.Aken versus Azure Lane fanfiction.
What?
Multiple world collided and only one survive. A dying world which shipgirl husband visit none other by our beloved demon lord Rimuru Tempest join her on
What?
her gurney as she navigate to new unknown world.
What is she doing on it? Why is she using a gurney for interdimensional travel?
I don't know.
It's a TARDIS, man. It's okay.
No.
I don't think that's what's happening here.
I
That
can't
is
believe
TARDIS.
River Tempest.
My
I can't believe
faster
River
than light gurney.
I can't believe Rimuru Tempest can travel dimensions, but only when he's in a coma.
I mean,
Wait. Oh wait,
Oh.
this is a female Rimuru they're doing.
Yeah,
Fuck,
they're
that
doing
sounds like a
female
good-
Rimuru.
That sounds like a actually really good setup for like a comedy.
Someone gets knocked
slider.
the fuck out by a head
I will
wound, ends up in
never
a coma.
forget the light novel, which had for one moment Rimuru be both a guy and a girl, and then him going, you know, this feels weird as a slime, so I'm just gonna go back to being a genderless.
Wait, wasn't that was in the anime as well? The very first time they get a body, they look at themselves. Because
Yes.
they ever thought, "Oh, I can sleep with myself," and then they look and they're like, "This is weird." Back
Yeah.
to slime.
That's because the body he copied was female.
Yeah, but he also made
He
himself
also gets
male.
he also gets a male body at one point, and he's like, "Oh, this is weird too."
Mm.
Yeah, he's
That's
actually
'cause he spent too much time as a slime.
He spent
Yeah.
so much time as a slime that he was like, "Why the fuck are genitals?"
yeah, effectively. Well, I mean, also the fact that the slime wouldn't really understand procreation in that sort of terms, and so wouldn't have that sort of mentality imprinted upon his soul.
I don't know. Would that count? 'Cause I thought only his body is slime, but I thought just because he spent so much time as that he without genitals, he became uncomfortable with.
Well,
Well,
you
you
see,
also
but
gotta
you-
realize-
saying that would imply that he would be affected by his body. So
True.
Oh, you've also got to realize that the guy himself is your typical Japanese herbivore man.
yeah, that's
so-
also true. Yeah, I'm. Oh my god, you know, slime was made infinitely worse by his behavior.
Mm,
Like it was actually genuinely painful. It's like, oh, I can understand a more passive, I kind of just want to vibe with the moment, I'm really stupid powerful, I just kind of want to vibe. I can
I can.
I
Respect
feel that,
You just
yeah.
want to be left alone.
I get that.
Yeah.
But this dude is like actively running away
Mm,
from everything
yeah.
for a
The
very
only time
long
he
time.
didn't. The only time he stopped and didn't is when his own people ended up dead, and then it didn't matter because it brought him all back with his evolution.
Yeah, and it's also it's like, oh well, let's try to peacefully talk to the world-destroying monstrosity, and that didn't work. It's like, well, no shit.
Gee, I wonder why.
And the fact that he let so many fucking people go, it's like, yeah, that sort of worked out in the end with the lizard guys. Sure, but he lets so many people go, and they're always like, it always comes back to bite him at least once.
And he never
it's-
learns.
And it just keeps happening because he's like, oh, I gotta give peace a chance, guys. I know the dude I just let go was about to destroy the entire city, but he had a sad backstory, okay?
He's
Not even.
Japanese.
A lot of the time, Rimuru doesn't know the fucking sad backstory. He just can't commit.
Yeah, I know. That's sort of my point.
If it. And you know, it's
Oh,
weird
God.
because. It's weird because, yeah, that's normal Japanese, but the Rimuru we saw in episode 1 of the anime literally steps in front of a knife to defend his worker. And it's like, well, that's
I don't think he stepped in front of that knife. I think just some random hobo just came out of nowhere and gutted him.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's what
I thought
happened.
it was coming for the guy, his co-worker and his girlfriend or whatever. So he stepped in front of it. 'cause he didn't have anything.
I'm pretty sure he just got fucking slide swiped.
Ah.
No, I think Or's right on this one. I think he made an active choice to.
That's Kaz.
That's Kaz, dude,
Kaz.
bro.
I haven't said a thing.
I thought it was the one. What the fuck?
Yo,
I'm
how
sorry.
do you fuck that up? Dude's got an Aussie accent and everything. Put some fucking shrimp on the Barbie, mate.
Oh, congratulations, Aura. I'm adopting you as Australian.
Oh no, please don't.
You're going to
You
Brazil.
must. You have to drink at least 4 times a day.
No.
Well, I mean, if he's
Yes.
already in Florida, then
Now,
there's
okay,
nothing to
so
worry
Aura,
about.
I understand you said no, and I appreciate you, and no means no, right? But however, I do want to offer a counter argument to your no.
Oh no.
Princess Admiral Taylor Hebert gains the power to summon ship girls from Germany because she's actually a German princess. Worm AU.
The fuck?
Taylor, you have to build
Oh,
off.
good lord! I thought you were just shitposting something random.
I couldn't tell because there's an ad stopping me from seeing what you're reading.
I didn't. I was like, the title got blocked over. I'm like, where's this Worm Azure Lane shit as he crosses? Is the stream delayed?
I know. No, that was my point.
Oh. Yeah, I thought
Oh.
Rimuru stepped in front of the fucking knife.
I don't
And,
think I don't know. I don't think he did.
And then when he was being held by his coworker, he went, "Delete my hard drive, destroy it."
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
yeah, that was pretty. I'm glad someone finally included that joke.
You know what's even better? He not only did, but also sent a prayer. It's like, "This is my most holy mission. Oh, my friend, please live on in the afterlife."
Gundam Build Drivers Azure Lane. Why? Updates whenever possible. 6 chapters over the course of 3 years. 42,000 words. Yeah, that's gonna be a riveting story, guys. It's gonna fucking finish in 2029. Actually, never mind. 2029 is too close. Oh shit, fuck. It's gonna end in 2060.
Which one's this?
ALGBD Rewrite V2, The
Gundam.
Tainted Blue History.
I was trying to find out which 6-chapter fic in the 4 that you've got on screen. Was the one you're looking at.
Yeah, that's fair.
All of them nearly 40 two of them.
Issei goes to
Sorry,
Azure
I'll-
Lane. What happened when thing go wrong? What would you go to protect care about? Join Issei as he and his friend lovers fight both supernatural siren forces from destroying not just his world, but world of Azure Lane and rest of universe. See, this is another thing I'm talking about here. It's like, this is the same as being like, oh, you know, I'm gonna write a Matrix DXD crossover, and what if Neo from the Matrix invaded DXD and used his Matrix powers to beat up all the gods?
Does Neo even have Matrix powers outside of the Matrix?
No.
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
In
Yes,
the
he
third
does.
movie, he does.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
When?
at the very end, he's able to just
Very
like
end.
completely overcome the digital reality barrier.
Really?
And keep his
Control
powers in the real
machines.
world? Really?
He keeps his powers in
Some
the...
of them.
He keeps control of the machines, at least.
Oh, no. I'm talking about, like, the shit where he can dodge bullets and crap.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, they just miss him because they're horrible at aiming when it comes to plot important characters.
No,
Oh.
I literally mean the shit where
When he
he
goes
like,
slow-mo,
yeah, the
goes
slow-mo
and
bullet
can
dodge
limbo
inside of the
under him.
Matrix. Yeah,
No, that's only in the Matrix.
Whoa.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That'd be like
Yeah.
if Neo kept all of his Matrix-only powers and then invaded DXD. And that's the story premise. That's the same sort of level of retarded as the shit I just read here with the sirens invading DXD to blow up the world for no reason. It's because we literally
Yeah.
know the lore of the sirens now, and they wouldn't do that.
Actually, wait, isn't this the exact same story we found once, but it was Azure Lane MHA that we went over on
Oh,
stream?
probably, yeah.
And it was fucking Izuku finds a cube or something, and the very first thing he summons is a siren or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Also, the sirens are going to destroy the universe. So this is actually another funny thing. So the sirens, much like the Tyranids in Warhammer 40k, are running from something.
His hands, bring him.
That's why they're doing all the simulations of Azure Lane, is because they're trying to hope that doing all these past simulations of Azure Lane, which technically take place quantumly, so they're all taking place outside of time, which means that all the time that passes in these simulations, like a second
matter.
passes in reality. And so they're hoping that by running literally hundreds of thousands of simulations where they continuously up the technology level of the simulations, they're hoping that the humanity inside the simulations will bullshit their way into inventing a solution to the thing that's currently threatening the real humanity that the sirens couldn't figure out how to beat, because the humanity in the original humanity originally did bullshit the sirens into existence by pulling the whole wisdom cube shit out of their ass. And so the
Yeah.
sirens are like, okay, well, if humanity did it once, what if we give
Make
them
them do
the
it again.
wisdom cubes and make them do it again?
Yeah. Wait, Azure Lane is Japanese, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe the
Well, no,
sirens are running
Chinese.
from Chinese?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. I was gonna say I can't believe the sirens are running from nuclear powered boats, girls.
Well, they're actually running from like nuclear powered boat girls because their sun, they're powered by suns. But yeah, I get what you mean. I get the joke. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Tanya the Evil, Azure Lane, 6 chapters, 30,000 words, a riveting story told in 5K word snippets over the course of 2 years. Pneumonia. What exactly defined Tanya could not be argued about by her. What the fuck? And those of her at length? Huh? There
You
were
are
3 things she
saying
certainly
words.
was not. She was not naval
Oh,
commander.
there we go. Oh, what?
Yeah?
What are you freaking out about?
I have no
his
idea.
computer froze.
His computer froze, that's funny.
I wonder if his Discord died like mine did.
Maybe. She was not able to control several thousand tons of steel with her mind, and she was not okay with this insanity. What?
She lost her ability to control something?
She's a ship girl.
She's in
Naval.
denial about being a ship girl.
No, yes, she is, because she was not able to control several thousand tons of steel with her mind. That is implying, because of how these statements are worded, the author is implying she is the main character of Azure Lane, who's also a ship girl.
Yes.
What? What? Am I back?
Okay, he might
Yes,
be back.
you're
No,
back.
you're not back.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah.
Azure Lane Oshinoko.
Oh, that's
How?
not gonna end well.
Max,
I
did I
can't
ever send
believe-
you the picture of what happens if Oshinoko took place in Texas?
No, but I can only
Yes!
imagine.
Yes.
Let me.
Give me a sec, I'll find it.
Yeah, let me go
The
grab that.
the Isle has some things for home defense.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
That
Here, let me send that to
my-
you.
By
I
the way,
have no
guys,
idea how I'm still speaking when my Discord is not responding.
Discord I like this door with the shotgun already in hand and loaded. By the way, I would like to say, those of us that were discussing how Remur died,
Yeah.
we are all half right.
Awesome.
So Randall
died?
comes out of nowhere to stab the coworker,
Okay.
and Remur pushes the coworker out of the way.
Okay.
So it was just a random act of fuck these people,
Yeah.
and it was still saving someone.
Okay.
Okay then.
Also, I want to point out, no one did anything to that dude. He just ran down the street, dropped the knife. I want to know about that dude's day.
Japan, because, not our problem.
So I was watching Oshinoko, and then I remembered that ship girl idols are a thing in Azure Lane. So what if the main character / the idol lady was a ship girl?
That's
Why?
not how that would work.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's not how that would work. 'Cause
that's no.
a ship would have to be named after her.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and even then, it wouldn't be her. It would just be the
Hmm.
conceptual history of that ship composed into a personality.
Once
So,
again,
if
Discord not
anything,
responding.
if
but
the
yet it
ship
still
were to take her
works.
form, it's because the ship is, like her sailors, a hyperfan.
Hmm.
Probably.
Like, that's the best you'd get.
Yeah.
And Atin's back.
Atin's back. Oh, did you finish eating the meat?
Damn it! If my Discord was responding, I'd fine boom that. Fuck.
Unfortunately for you, dinner was a salad,
Oh. Oh, I see.
How is
so
that
there was no
unfortunate?
meat.
How,
But good
how's that
try.
unfortunate for us? You're the one that suffered.
Yeah, that's
No, it was a
rough,
pretty
man.
tasty salad, actually.
Ah, that's rough,
There
man.
was no meat.
Yeah, there's no meat.
Yeah, it's a failure of a meal. It needs meat.
Yeah, you're outvoted by the meat
Steak.
council on this one.
Not every
There-
meal has to contain meat.
That
Just the
is
vast
Yes, it does.
majority.
That
Just
is
the
That is
vast
absolutely
majority of them.
false.
That is false. Even breakfast needs some bacon or something like that.
I mean,
Okay,
Oh,
breakfast.
not
Breakfast
necessarily.
can
No,
be
you could-
optional, kind of.
well, I mean,
Like, it'd be nice to have some protein. Maybe an egg at least.
yeah, no, definitely an egg. Yeah, hands down.
Yeah,
definitely an
listen,
yeah.
I'm more of a sausage biscuit man.
Oh, hey guys, you know how Azure Lane has such schizophrenic lore? What if we made this lore
thought you were
even
gonna say
more
fans.
schizophrenic?
I thought
And-
you were going to say schizophrenic fans.
Oh, yeah, those two, yeah. Yeah, those two.
How do you make it even
Oh,
worse?
I'm so glad you asked, Max. The
It's by
Azure
crossing it over.
Key. After
With
the
Kingdom
events of
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, Sora awakens in the ocean as a ship girl.
Huh?
No,
What?
You who did
Just-
that?
You.
I'm just kidding. Sora's not a ship girl.
Oh,
But
listen,
he
I'd
awakens
be
to
down for
walk on the
something that
water
stupid.
and finds out girls are ship girls. And Sora needs to put an end to the Kami-sama war while finding a way home. And now he has an entire harem of ship girls.
I'll be honest, Sneaky. Part of me thought you were going to take the joke further and say it's actually Donald Duck who's the ship girl now.
Oh, no.
Actually, they ending up on the Azure Lane world, going by past Kingdom Hearts. All three would end up as ship girls.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, actually, yeah. By the rules of Kingdom Hearts, Sora ends up a fucking girl.
No, they might end up. What's
They might,
the
they
dudes
might
that
just.
control ship girls?
No one does.
that is- they
Mm.
probably just end up with rigging or some sort.
No,
Possibly.
you're.
No, only girls have ship parts.
So,
Actually, no. They probably wouldn't change because normal humans exist there.
yeah.
Like anywhere there's normal humans, they just stay themselves, and it's like, oh, what? Why do you have magic? Shrug.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's not as funny.
Ugh.
A, yeah, he's got a point. That's not as funny.
No, it's not as funny, but it does follow
B,
the
it's
rules.
really hard to justify beating up a embodiment of a ship, of like a battleship, with a key.
Except we've already
Uh,
done that.
Oh, that's fair.
Like, I hate to tell you this, we have quite literally already done that.
Yeah.
Sora's beat up a
In
lot of
Kingdom
stuff.
Hearts
Yeah.
or Azure Lane, I'm not sure which.
Kingdom Hearts.
Which ship did we do that to?
You'd have to ask Nosehair. But he's
Kingdom
not here.
Hearts 3.
In Kingdom, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3. If
Oh.
they've done it in that one. I've only played 1 and 2. I haven't even played the side ones.
We in Kingdom Hearts 3 we built a pirate ship out of crabs.
No, to be fair, that's we didn't do that.
Oh,
Well, no, Calypso
The
Yeah.
did.
Jack World did that.
yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 did get, like, not only did we beat up a ship, we also used the ship to beat up other people.
Yes.
Anyway, Awaken, Ocean God, Godzilla Azure Lane crossover. The Sirens create 2 ships named after ancient Sakura gods. Their mistake is that they didn't know the gods actually existed, and so the ships get possessed by the Sakura gods. One of them is Godzilla, and he's a ship girl now.
No.
Okay, first off, I think that would actually be very fun. Second, you have broken the power balance. There is now no tension.
Yeah.
Humanity went. Well, I guess the simulation technically wins.
Yeah. Turns out gods were what they needed to awaken the whole time. Okay. Yeah. Drifting and wandering, Bismarck is casted out into a world where the enemies of ship girls are abyssals instead by a sea dragon. She meets H-39 and other ship girls of the Contempt collection as she remains aimless to her next goal after the tragedy she caused in her own timeline. That's pretty cringe, I'm gonna be honest. So literally Azure Lane added this new thing. So Azure Lane has the whole thing where you use wisdom cubes and the wisdom cube shines brightly and shit and then pops into a ship girl from history, right? Blah blah blah, right?
Okay.
Meta cubes are ship girls who are in the quantum foam, who are the collective culmination of that ship girl's existence and purpose at the final timeline. And they can either turn into burnouts or they can turn into metas. And meta, so it's basically, it's like, you know how in Halo, where AI can go rampant, and then they either, stay rampant, or they actually break through the rampancy and become stable again?
Yes.
That's exactly what this is. Either they go fucking insane and burn out, and they just become like these hollow destroyer husks of, destruction.
Interesting you brought that up, because literally 2 down from this current story, there's Halo Azure Lane.
I'm sure there is, yeah. Or they meta-stabilize and form into this collective consciousness final formation of the Wisdom Cube line for that ship girl. And so they're called, Bismarck meta and New Jersey meta and stuff like that. Where this is the final form. It's the most powerful form of that ship girl. And it's got a whole bunch of quantum foam and, theory of probability bullshit. Like, you literally have to get a fucking science degree to understand some of the shit Yostar throws at you. Point being, though, is that these meta people can only exist inside the simulation because they are a branch of the computer program that is running the simulation. They're like a parallel branch to the simulation, which is why they're able to, air quotes, breach into the simulation. It's like 2 VMs on the same server, Blade. One's able to interact with the other. But just because those 2 VMs can interact with each other doesn't mean that other VM can just get up and be like, actually, I'm just going to transfer over to the real world now and become a manifested computer.
Well, I mean, space magic, so they
I'm
might
pretty
be
sure
able
that's
to.
how it works. I don't know what you're saying, Sneaky.
No, the magic doesn't exist in Azure Lane.
Definitely does. For sure.
Sci-fi space magic.
No, I mean, no, it's the space magic is that it's a fucking
technology.
matrix. Yes, the space magic is that it's a fucking matrix. That's the space magic.
Well, yeah, but again, they use the space magic to get out of the matrix. Again,
No, they
sufficiently
don't.
its technology is indistinguishable from magic.
No. Yeah, okay, so yes, that's the matrix. That's what you are using apples and oranges comparisons to just infuriate me.
That is exactly what's occurring here, yes.
Anyway, point being is that Cyan's horny and all he can do is think about smacking his meat to young girls.
Oh,
Wait, what?
The final frontier. For us, the storm has passed. It is time for us to honor those who will never return in this dreadful voyage. As human carved their loved one name into stone pillar of remembrance, they carve R into their hearts at utmost symbol of gratitude. And in them we would never be forgotten amidst the greatest way they honor us, UNSC Enterprise, requesting immediate recovery. That's right. All of the UNSC ships are now ship girls. And this is, again, people are fucking confusing these two. This is not a Azure Lane story. This is a Contai story, you fucking dipshit authors. Jesus Christ, get your ship girl stories correct.
That'll involve using their non-existent brain.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm just saying, it's like if you fucking write a My Hero Academia crossover story, but you list it under Naruto.
Yeah.
Well, these two things are virtually indistinguishable, don't you know? They both have cute girls who happen to be ships, so they're the same fucking thing.
Do you realize how little that narrows it down these days?
Yeah, yeah.
You've also got Arpeggio of Blue Steel and others.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to talk about and others. You want to talk about and others. Alright, let me go find the fucking message that Gray sent me a while back. It's gonna be a bit. Hold on, let me just zoom. Oh. Nope. No, wait, hold on. I think I went too far back. See, Leviathan's Dread. Yep, okay. Ooh woo, large creatures, yeah, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, stupid sexy space babes. Oh yeah, here we go.
What the fuck is Gray sending you?
Gray sends me a lot of stuff. We have Victory Bells, we have Can Cole, Azure Lane, Blue Oath, Black Surge Knight, Doll List, Dark Bloom. Let's see what else we got here.
I think I know like half of those.
I don't know any of those.
Black Surge Knight, yeah, we already said that. Abyss Horizon, Warship
Yeah.
Girls 2.
2?
This sounds just like cheap fucking knockoffs.
Oh, they all are. Pretty much, Black Surge Knight was actually fucking sicko mode on their art, so I'll give them that. But their gameplay was garbage, so they fucking died. Abyss Horizon is literally just a porn game. Like, I know I make fun of Azure Lane for being a porn game these days, but Abyss Horizon is literally just what if all the ships were just straight up strippers? Like, they're wearing thongs and pasties.
Abyss Horizon.
Yeah, of course. I just knew
You
Simon.
should have expected that.
Oh, I mean, there's a reason
Yeah.
why I've named him Horny Prime. I knew they would get him interested. Warship Girls 2 is basically
It's a fucking
Contact.
phone game.
Yeah, oh, they're all phone games. The fuck you
Well,
smoking?
I think it was.
With Kantai and Azure Lane's fucking popularity, there was a lot of rip-off phone games that got.
Blue Oath is just really weird. I think that one's dead too now. Victory Bell did not try at all. They didn't even remotely get the designs close to literally anything. And they're all wielding like lances and axes and dumb shit. And it's just like, what the fuck's going on here? Warship Girls 2 is basically just like, hey buddy, Contai collection, can I copy your homework? Yeah, sure, just change it a little bit so it doesn't look like you copied me. That's Warship Girls too.
Nice.
Meanwhile, Black Surge Knight over here. Let me post some pictures from Black Surge Knight.
I feel like Black Surge Knight is one of the ones I knew, but I don't know why I never got into it.
Here's some of the pictures from fucking Black Surge Knight because they decided to go fucking sicko mode.
Oh yes, yeah. Now I remember Black Surge Knight.
So the top ones are the Azure Lane meta characters, and the bottom ones are Black Surge Knight.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they were just like, hey, let's just go fucking sicko mode. And another thing that Black Surge Knight did that was actually unique is that all your ships had the ability to switch between their abyssal versions and their purified versions.
Oh,
Mm.
that's really cool.
And they,
Yeah.
they had different ults for each, and they had different abilities for each, and they were good at different things.
Yeah. But if I remember correctly, the gameplay was really
the
bad.
gameplay was so fucking bad.
Yeah, now I remember Black Surge Knight. Yeah, I think I tried it for like 4 hours, and then I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, the art was good, but by the time I got any of the girls, I was like, "This ain't worth it."
Yep.
Black Surge
Yeah.
Knight is sound like one of those games where like you scour the wiki for JPEGs and voice lines,
But
and
yeah,
then just save those somewhere on your computer.
pretty much.
Yeah, more or less. Mostly just the JPEGs. The voice lines weren't that great either.
Oof.
Mm. Well, I think I am gonna go.
Alright, see you, man.
See yous.
Later.
Alright, well, yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's see if we can get one single story. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is this? Ruby, a time of war. The year is 3030. The fourth succession war has ended. Peace, or what counts as peace, in the never-ending war of border skirmishes, pirate raids, and burning dirty wars, has returned to the inner sphere. To mech warriors, it's a time to prove themselves on the battlefield. To mercenary companies like the Ruby Rangers and Cuirassiers d'Arc, it's payday. This is not a fucking crossover. This dude just strapped it straight into the Ruby section.
What?
It's a Mech Warriors Ruby cross. He just fucking slap-dapped right into the Ruby section.
Well, Ruby wasn't missing Mecha. It's just that they didn't show up until way later. And
Oh
they're
no,
much
Mecha was
obsoleted.
there, and no, Mecha was there in like Volume 2.
Volume 2, yeah. But they're mostly obsoleted by hunters who can just tear them apart.
Yeah.
Well, no, the whole point of them was that they wouldn't need to rely as heavily on hunters for dealing with Grandman situations.
They could have a normal soldier pilot one, yeah.
Yeah, that and the Legion. God, was it the Knights? The Knights were the Robos, the Paladins or the Mechas.
good, kind type of mercenary who doesn't murder people for money.
Oh, sorry, my bad, Carrot. Let me just clear up what I just said. Ruby, for some reason, thinks that she. So this reviewer here thinks that Ruby, despite being a mech warrior mercenary who kills people for money, is going to be the naive 15-year-old girl that she was at the start of canon, while she plans to murder a shit ton of people. Now, Nora, I can absolutely see being the chaotic murder herbo that she is in the mech world, and her personality probably wouldn't change too much because honestly, we have her backstory, and her backstory was she watched her whole village get slaughtered, and so she ended up with that personality regardless.
Not even her village, by the way.
No, yeah, not even her village.
She
Yeah,
was just
It was
visiting
Ren's
her
village.
She was
parents.
just an orphan.
Yeah, she was an orphan.
well, now she is.
Yeah.
It was
if she-
Ren's village, and she watched his parents get killed with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, so yeah, she watched a village get slaughtered. She's already an orphan. Her personality, I can absolutely understand that not changing at all. But if you're really gonna sit here, because I mean, honestly, village getting slaughtered and you're the sole survivor, that's pretty generic for mech warrior backstories. But, you know, if you're really going to sit here and tell me that a mech commander captain who leads her own mercenary group, where you are playing a delicate knife balance of working for everyone while everyone also wants to kill you, and you're slaughtering people left and right, and you're really going to sit here and be like, yeah, 15-year-old naive Ruby personality, that's going to carry through. Really?
Some people completely lack the ability to actually, impart changes onto the characters based on their environment.
Like, that's the funniest part, though, because this guy is complaining that other authors change the character when they write crossovers.
Which they fucking should.
It's like, well, you're just a fucking dipshit. I love how dysfunctional both mercenary bands are. John's got more of a true military structure going on, while Ruby is carefree. Also, I love the sudden intrigue you're adding into the story, as well as the possibility that John's family is trying to kill him. I mean, now see, that's like, you know what? I'll give him this then. If this is shit that's actually happening, I can absolutely see a military, mercenary bands going this way and that, and John's family is his backstory. Oh yeah, his family wants to fucking off him. That all fits in with Mech Warrior just fine, you know. I don't know. I don't feel like this belongs in the Ruby section.
The Carrot, that's what you don't understand. Nobody actually likes Ruby anymore. It's all just OCs.
I mean, you aren't wrong.
Hey y'all, it stopped flooding on my end, but no
Cool.
idea how long it'll hold this time.
Well, we're probably gonna end up closing it out soon.
That said, I've actually. Go ahead, Sneaky.
I was gonna say we're gonna find at least one more story and then.
Get you. Just on Mech Warrior though.
Yeah.
I find this setting very hit or miss. Some of the books are really enjoyable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I personally struggle with immersion though. Some of the common accepted parts of the setting are just so silly to me that I kind of struggle to get into it. But, I'm weird like that. Yeah. Are there any other settings like that for y'all that you really wish you could get into but you just can't quite?
I mean, a fair number of anime is like that for me, where I kind of just like I'll see a couple episodes and I'm like, oh, I kind of enjoy it, but I'm just like,
Danmachi.
Yeah, Danmachi, Konosuba, that wrestler one that the guy who made Konosuba did, Index, Railgun.
Index, yeah.
They're all stories that I'm kind of like I kind of vibe with, but at the same time I'm just like where the author and how the author displays it, I'm just not here.
Doesn't click. When you mentioned wrestling, I've been trying to get back into like pro wrestling recently. Just I used to
Jesus
like it as a
Christ.
kid, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm just like, oh my god, the physicality of these dudes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Sunshine, after his transcripts are revealed to his friends and to the staff, John is expelled. But he's allowed to re-sign up for his second year. But first, John
okay.
has to travel around Remnant and find himself and become a better huntsman before then.
Well, you know where my mind went as far as the whole finding yourself thing went.
Dicks.
Actually,
Women.
Huntsman could make a really good counterpoint to the Black Watch and Mech Warrior.
How?
Well, they're both specifically elite formations trained for a singular goal. It could kind of be like a Green Berets versus
Spetsnaz.
Navy SEALs type deal.
Yeah. I don't
Don't
know.
think that would work.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, but it's not like. See, the thing though here is that huntsman in a mech warrior setting would not be huntsman in the Ruby setting. It would be just another group of specially trained mech warriors.
All right, fair point. It takes away the shine. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, you could like write a full pure mech warrior story though. You could still call the elite group huntsman, and you're literally gonna lose nothing. And it's like, oh well, they're separate from Blackwatch because they try to, I don't know, preserve life and complete the mission.
Well, I mean, a different tactical doctrine would be the would actually be pretty interesting there because Blackwatch basically operates as a Steiner Scout Lance isn't heavy enough.
Yeah.
I suppose it sounded better in my head, but
Well,
I
I mean,
got you
the problem. I mean, yeah, like I said, the problem is there's just not really a lot going on there to write a narrative about. It'd be cool as a detail in a story that is something about something else, and the huntsmen are there as another group. That would be fine. But making it about, like, oh, look, this is a different group of Blackwatch, and they're, like, gooder Blackwatch. It's like, okay.
Actually, now that
Cool.
you're talking about that, I think it'd be really cool to see a story about, like, a Scout Lance who, like, focus exclusively on mobility and hit and run tactics rather than, you know, heavy mech
Sure,
smash.
but what kind of narrative are you going to build around that?
Well, I mean, it'd be a pure mech warrior story. You'd probably want to pick one of the game stories or
Right,
or a
exactly.
specific
That's
war.
my point, though. Is like that's not something you can build a story out of. That's something you can flavor a story with. You're not gonna make a meal out of salt.
Gotcha. No, I wasn't even thinking of making it as a crossover at that point, but more
No,
like
I wasn't even
you
talking
tell-
about crossovers. I was just talking about pure fundamentals of story making. You can't make a meal out of salt.
If you had the objective of okay, I want to tell a mech warrior story about a Scout Lance, how would you go about making that story?
Well, I would give a backstory to the main character, give him a reason why. Maybe they join as a rookie into the troop. Maybe they have some sort of the troop either finds something, or the rookie's history comes back to bite him, and the troop turns out to be decent people who decide to stick by the rookie instead of giving him up for either some sort of payday or threat of death. And they use their unique scout tactics to overcome the heavy mechs sent their way.
So that they are scouts would be secondary to the story.
Yeah, there's literally no way to make a story narratively with the primary objective being, hey guys, they drive scout mechs. It's why I keep saying you can't write a story about you can't make a meal with just salt. You have to actually have things other than salt to make a meal.
I guess in my head I was almost thinking about it like one of those old History Channel faux documentaries about like, oh, this is a vehicle and this is its history and these are the wars it's fought in and stuff.
Right, but that's not telling a narrative story. That's telling a documentary story. That's completely different.
I got you. I guess it just wasn't fully formed in my head. Anyways, you said you were finding another story?
Yeah, I'm trying to find something, but all of it's Ruby shit. It's fucking bad. We can go to the Naruto section. It's fucking bad. We can go to the Negima section. It's fucking bad. I don't even know the shit that comes out today, but I can guarantee you it has less than 100 fanfics for it. Nothing fucking gets produced these days by anyone.
Is it the sites you're checking, or is it just that fan fiction in general is getting smaller?
I mean, I would say, space battles and sufficient velocity. It's a multi-factored thing because a lot of the places that host the fan fiction, so every site's got its problems. Space battles and sufficient velocity continuously ban their audience, ban their authors, commit suicide by content change. They just continuously fuck up to the point where they're just losing people either by banning them, by changing things so much, or by just sheer attrition of people just being tired of it. And eventually, you hop between these websites so much that someone just goes, why am I even bothering? And they just stop. And so then they don't ever, read or write again in terms of these fan fiction websites. I mean, maybe they write to themselves a little bit occasionally, but they move on. They find a different hobby. And so that's harming the community pretty hard. The community themselves is doing a really good job of fucking itself over because they have both extremely loose standards and extremely strict standards. They have loose standards in that they don't believe in holding people to a standard of writing of not even good quality. I'm talking about like literal, actual definition, mediocre quality of it's readable, it's using punctuation correctly, and it has characters talking in a narrative style, not fucking written like a stage play or some garbage, right? Like, I'm not asking for there to be some sort of, I'm sorry, your story is not good enough. It does not meet the fan fiction qualifications. I'm literally talking about, can I sit down and look at your story and be able to comprehend what you have written on it? And apparently that's not allowed as a standard, as I've been banned before for saying such things.
Where were you banned off of?
I was banned off of fanfiction, r/fanfiction, off of r/fanfiction.net, I was banned from the r/fanfiction.net Discord. I was banned from some other fanfiction Discords over time for saying shit like that.
Hug boxes.
Yeah.
Wasn't the fanfiction Discord one where you just straight out tore into one dude and they had to lock down the political?
They were gonna ban me eventually anyway because they were so quick on the trigger with fucking getting up my asshole.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think what kind of sucks nowadays, like fanfiction as a whole is basically kind of just dead, and it's like there's only a handful of good authors.
Right,
or
but
at
that's
least
what I'm saying though, is they have very loose but very strict standards simultaneously, these communities, because they'll have very loose standards and they don't want to allow anyone to have some sort of standard of writing of like just sheer readability, so that loses people because they're like, oh, cool, I really liked new thing that came out and somebody wrote a story for it, let me try and read that story, and then they open it up and it's fucking gibberish. Someone just shit on a fucking keyboard and they're like, oh, this isn't really cool, and then they leave and they don't look up any fan fiction anymore, they don't interact in the forum anymore, they don't talk to anyone about it anymore because they're like, oh, well, this is all lame. And if they try to interact with anyone about it, because of the super loose hug boxing that's going on, they like, oh, I didn't like this new story posted by author. I couldn't read it at all. And then someone fucking goes, you're a sexist, racist, transphobe. Read. And they're like, oh, I don't want to interact with these fans anymore. And so they just leave. And then they have super strict fucking guidelines because no new story is allowed to be fucking made because everyone is just like, oh, well, if it's not a worm story on space battles, I'm not gonna fucking read it. You know, if it's not, you know, some sort of slutty porn on QQ, I'm not gonna fucking read it. If it's not some sort of generic, by-the-numbers, trope-filled garbage on fanfiction.net that is specifically in the Harry Potter, Naruto, Bleach, or Ruby sections, I'm not gonna read it. And so people try to make fan fictions and new stories and new sections and shit, but they get like 3 clicks. Period. And then they go
out and you quit writing.
Yeah, like it's like it's someone shows up to the fucking library and they're like, "Hey guys, I've published a little book here. Does anyone want to read it?" And of the 500 kids in school that have seen you hand out this book, not a single person even takes it. That person's gonna be like, "Oh, I guess no one wants to read anything I've written," and then they'll stop writing. And AO3, Jesus Christ, the fucking tag situation on AO3 just makes it impossible to look anything up or even scroll through stories because you get like 3 stories per page because the tags are so fucking long.
It's also so shit where it's like you're trying to find like say a specific crossover shit, like I don't know, I'm just spitballing Pokemon and Naruto for example. You try and search that, you kind of either have to deal with it and every other fandom that's tagged together with it.
You have to sit there and you have to add 10 million exclusions to the fucking list just so you can actually get to just Naruto times Pokemon.
It's like, bro,
I'm here in that way, sign.
Which honestly, that's the biggest problem with AO3. Even stuff that isn't tagged not safe for work tends to be inappropriate.
Well, the community around AO3 is absolute fuck awful. It is the hands down of all the communities I have had to interact with for fanfiction, AO3 is by far just a front runner. They're leading the pack by a whole fucking minute. It's not even close. Like, AO3's community is just the fucking worst. Everything's just so bad on that website. And the stories, not always. They're like, sometimes there's really good stories that are only found on AO3. But it's unfortunate because there's just... If fanfiction.net is like wading through the sewer, like, going on AO3 is like getting your scuba gear, you know?
Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it.
I'll say this. I don't know if I'm just old or what, but I genuinely remember years ago on TG, traditional gaming, the best place to share and write stories.
Oh yeah, it used to be.
I don't know if that's really changed.
It has.
Yeah, God, okay, I feel a little sad, but I remember I got my start in like writing for other people, and I would write backstories for D&D characters. Just, you know, hey, I've got a character with these ideas, and you know, I might type out like a page or two, and you know, you get back and forth, and you could discuss builds, and oh, is that, you know, where does this fit in? What setting is it? And you know, you could really engage, and you would get pretty immediate feedback. It was always good. It was even when you're just getting called a, you know, naughty words on the internet you can't say anymore. You kind of were like, okay, well, you know, what did I do wrong? And more often than not, they tell you, hey, this, and this, and this is where you screwed up. And then you could fix it. And they'd come back and say, like, hey, you know, good job. You sacked up. You fixed your mistakes. Then, you know, 10 of the people would call you an idiot because now they didn't like it. But
yeah, well,
that was the breaks. And you know, part of this is rose-tinted glasses. But I think I genuinely, when it came to dealing with feedback, 4chan more than just about anywhere else or anything else.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also a problem of just the mental wise. Like people, I've seen this happen time and time again. If they're open to criticism, there's only a small faction of them that are actually capable of understanding what is good criticism and what is bad criticism. Because I've seen people just go off the fucking deep end, being like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did that thing wrong. Okay, yeah, I'll fix this. Oh yeah, okay, I broke this too. Okay, I'll fix that too." And they just go fucking off the deep end because they're not able to comprehend that they're being given bad criticism. That the criticism they're being handed is not criticism based on objective fact. It's based on subjective opinion.
What I want to see, what tropes I want you to write.
And yeah, and it's unfortunate because these people just go off the deep end, and then when you're trying to like course correct them, they're like, yeah, but I'm being told by like 17 other people that their way is the correct one. And it's like, well,
those 17 other people are morons.
They are, but it's like they don't get that. And so you have all these authors who are just like, no, I will not change anything in my story. I don't care that I'm spelling someone's name wrong. That's how they're spelled in my story.
It's my style.
Yeah, it's my style. Yeah, you have a lot of those people. Oh my god. Yeah, you have a lot of those people who just refuse any sort of constructive criticism unless it's constructive criticism that tells them they did everything right. And then you have the sorts of people that accept all criticism, except not all criticism is good criticism. And very rarely you get the people that actually accept criticism that is actually good criticism. And then even more rarely do they actually receive good criticism.
I love getting these morons who think that their criticism is the good criticism, and I'm sitting here, no, you're a fucking moron. What you're saying is stupid. I just really don't want to say that in public.
I'll say it, and I'll say it again and again and again. I will never stop loving the fact that I had someone type out a multi-paragraph post about why Undying Scarab was bad and what we got wrong in it, and I PM'd them, and I said, all right, well, you were right about a lot of that after going back and looking it up. So we want to prevent that in the future. Do you want to be my beta? And they're like, fine.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
I hate your story. These are all the things you did wrong. Fair points. Would you like to beta for it? I guess. It's a charisma success.
I mean, if it works, it works.
I mean, Sneaky, you gotta understand, very few authors will actually own up to that. It's
yeah.
It's from personal here. I kind of did something like that where like someone gave me advice, and I think I got a big head at the time, like because this was like a dumb fic I tossed out, and it was something one of my first stuff. I was like, I like this. I'm like, and then they said the pacing was horrible and shit like that. I'm like, I don't think so, and kind of deleted it. And then like maybe like a couple months, if not a year later, after not updating, I'm like, oh fuck, he was right. I should have listened to him.
I had someone who gave me a lot of good criticism on OM.
Yeah.
Then he kind of fucked up because he started simping for this horrible story. It's just horrible story.
No.
And I ended up deleting what I was about to post. And when I say it was horrible, I mean it was out of character, pornographic, re-edgy 5me. And I got very, very mean, and I started. I think he actually rage quit the server when I was done.
Wow.
Wow.
I got very mean and very personal. But I've only ever done that once, and I think it was deserved in that case. Because when I say the story was bad, it was bad. Not like Ebony Dementia Darkness way bad, but like old Naruto mass harem. Everyone works on porn logic bad.
Right.
So the Naruto stories.
So
Pretty
the
much.
majority of Naruto stories, yeah.
So slight context, Sneaky, of what Carrot Glace is talking about. You remember Dyslexic made a Shield Hero Fate fic with Shiro being the Sword Hero. As he went, he gave the sword like a personality on its own. This was the author who made his story got too big, and he kind of just dropped it
No,
because it was too big for
yeah,
him.
I remember Dyslexic dropped his story because it got too popular and he didn't like people commenting on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the point. That's Carrot talk about. Like that was one of the. I remember that being a thing. Like he made the sword semi-aware, just kind of match up.
Oh
And
no, it wasn't semi-aware. It was fully aware. It had a whole yandere thing for Shiro.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, he quit because he was getting too much feedback.
No, it wasn't even feedback. It was literally a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong. So Dyslexic is a actually fairly good writer, all things considered. I would rate him a 7, maybe. On a scale
Decent
of 1 to 10.
entertainment.
Yeah.
7 is better than 95% of the people out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, his grammar was good, his spelling was fine, his prose was alright, he got to the fucking point in his stories, you know, he progressed, he had progression, his pacing was alright. You know, his characters could use work. But he was able to make them different from each other, so I don't really care too much. But I mean, it was nothing to write home about. It wasn't a story that would ever be like, oh, you know what? This is the best fucking story ever. You guys have to read it.
It was probably just just above average, but it was of decent quality, and that
I would say above average.
People were, I want to say, flocking to it because it was probably one of the, if not the
No,
sole
they were
quality
definitely
of
flocking.
that area.
Yeah, they were definitely flocking because the Shield Hero stories at the time, and probably even still now, were just fucking either repetitive trash or they were edgy, you know, 5 edgy 7 me trash. And so a lot of people flocked. I mean, like, he went from like a couple dozen favorites to like 6,000 something favorites over the span of a couple months.
And I think the reception, like, he got too much for him, and he just didn't like all the attention. He was like,
and the reviews coming in, I looked at them because when he started talking about how he doesn't like all the feedback he's getting, I looked at all the reviews, the recent reviews and shit, and there's like maybe 1 in 10 reviews pointing out gently that he did something wrong here and there.
You know, he might have just not been able to handle the quantity, simple as.
Oh, no, that's what it was. He literally wasn't. But his reaction to not being able to handle the quantity was to fucking throw a autistic spasmatic fit. Like the 5-year-old that just got told that he can't buy the cookie, and he's now, you know, screaming at the top of his lungs in the middle of the store and throwing shit everywhere. That's what he did.
Effectively, and his story basically died. And he moved on to other stuff.
And then that stuff died because people followed him because he was an above average author. And he's like, I don't understand why all these people are still here. It's like, because you're good. It's like if
That's kind of dumb.
It's like if you play on the street, it's like, yeah, you're playing an instrument on the street, right? And you're one of those people that are really good at the instrument, and, you know, people start, like, circling around you and holding their cameras out because it's like, holy shit, this dude's great. Oh my god, I'm gonna post this on Facebook. And then you just, like, fucking freak out and just throw your guitar at someone and start shitting into your tips jar.
Meth is a hell of a drug, Sneaky.
And now I have that image stuck in my head of autistic screeching, waving around like a crab, and then shitting in a tip jar.
I mean, is dyslexic just genuinely that socially awkward? He doesn't know how to handle people?
1,000% genuinely that socially awkward. He does not know how to handle people telling him they like his story.
Like, especially in such a large amount, because he clearly, I think, had a fair following beforehand.
No,
and he didn't have any issues
he did
with
not.
that?
He had before the entire thing kicked off, like, he had maybe his most popular story before the whole thing kicked off with that section was about maybe 120 people.
Eh,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, he averaged like 20 reviews on his stories.
That's not horrible for a small author, I
No,
guess.
it's not. And then he wrote the fucking story, and he got 6,000 reviews and had 6,000 favorites. And all his other stories started getting a bunch of attention because people were like, "Oh, well, what else did this guy write?" And he just fucking threw a piss fit because of it. And
Oh yeah, I think I think I kind of dropped him at that point because he's
everyone
like,
did. Like he started the next story, and we all were like, "Oh, cool. Well, at least we'll get this." And then he threw a piss fit again because people were still around, and then that's when everyone dropped him. They're like, "All right, well, fuck this guy, I guess. We're never gonna get a story out of him because if too many people enjoy his stuff, he just stops writing it."
That's
mean-
fucking dumb.
If people are so mentally unwell that they can't handle it, can you even really blame them at that point, or is it just kind of the facts of the matter?
Absolutely, he fucking posted it. No one's pointing a gun at his head, telling him, "You gotta post the next chapter. I'm gonna shoot you."
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's like
to me.
it's like. Go on.
No, what I'm trying to say is if you go out into the public, whether that is on the web or it is in the literal fucking IRL public, New York Times Square, and you start playing an instrument and you're pretty good at it, and people start circling around you and clapping, cheering you on because you're so good at it, and your reaction to that is to just start smashing your instrument and screaming, yes, it is your fault. You were the one who walked your ass out there and started playing.
Yeah, it's like it's one thing if your story is like I'm gonna just say controversial for whatever reason it is. Say you have some radical opinions that tie into real life or whatever, and that gets a lot of attention. I
Even
guess.
then,
Like,
I still feel if you are putting something into the public, regardless of what it is, if you are putting something into the public, you have to understand that this is going into the public. And if you,
I know.
And say say you don't know anything about the current political spectrum, you have not watched news in years, and you don't talk to people at all ever, so you've never heard of anything political. The last political thing you heard was 9/11, and for some reason you decide to go post a story or just to make a social post on Facebook or whatever, and your post is, like right-wing, anti-abortion, anti-trans. Like, again, I don't know how you're making this post because you never even heard of these things, but somehow the post, whether it's a story or just a comment, the post you made just somehow had all of the political triggers. And then suddenly a deluge of people pour in and start screaming at you for the post. It's still your fault. You went out into the public and said something, and if you weren't knowledgeable before you said anything, that is your fault. If you go and grab a burning stick by the fiery end and go, hot, how was I supposed to know? Maybe look at it, feel the area first. Oh, wow, this burning stick seems to be warmer here near the burning stick than farther away from the burning stick. And the closer I get to the burning stick, the hotter it gets. Maybe it'll be hot if I touch it.
But that would require forethought, and an acceptance of personal responsibility.
I'm aware
for
sign. No, I'm aware sign. I don't care. This is the whole point of this is Alvor over here is trying to defend the person for not maybe understanding what they might have gotten themselves into by doing what they did. And my point is that I don't give a shit if they walk into something unprepared. That is their fault.
No, I get it. Believe me, 100%. It's one of those things I've had to deal with before. And you either, back out or you fucking embrace it and just run with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Troll the shit out of people with it.
You sit there, you go, well, I learned my lesson, and you either have to A, move on, or B, freak out.
I learned my lesson. Here, how do I piss them off even further?
You mentioned repeatedly that he seemed to be just so severely socially awkward he couldn't handle it. If there's mental illness, is what I'm saying, is how much responsibility does he bear at that point?
Well, it's still his fault, because I'm sorry, but if you're mentally ill, you still have free access to the internet. And, unless someone takes that away from you, which I still think is, I'm on the fence about, because mentally ill people, they have issues, they can be easily manipulated, and I'm not even talking about politically, I'm talking about easily manipulated to go shooting a place, I'm talking about easily manipulated into killing themselves, I'm talking about, this has happened before. Tumblr is a great example of this. A high collection of mentally ill people, we have a lot of suicides on Tumblr of people being manipulated into doing it. Yeah, and so, that's, if they are not capable of making a decision due to the severity of their mental illness, and there is no one nearby capable of recognizing this, shit happens, them's the breaks.
Okay.
I'm sorry if you know you have
you don't have to
depression.
apologize
Maybe
for it,
no,
dude.
that's just a turn of phrase for me.
Gotcha.
If you know you have depression, maybe you don't know you have depression, but you decide, hey, I'm gonna go watch a whole bunch of videos about children getting killed. Oh wow, this makes me feel sadder. Maybe stop doing that.
But that would require personal responsibility.
I mean, it would, but if you don't stop doing it and you keep getting sadder, well, that's no one's fault but your own. And, we shouldn't be trying to fucking wrap them in cotton to protect them from themselves because they couldn't take a step back. Now, if we're talking about schizophrenic people who are just so fucking off their rocker that they physically cannot even comprehend that they have a problem, someone else should be stepping in then. Someone else should either recognize this, and if there's no one around the person to recognize it, again, that's too bad. I feel for them. That's rough. Oh well. What are you gonna do about it? Legislate everyone else out of existence so we can protect one person who has a shit life? Because that's a real quick way of not having anything.
I guess from my perspective, I would see it slightly differently in that if there's an author, especially an author I like,
sure,
that just has a complete and total breakdown, it doesn't actually hurt anyone else.
Sure.
And I'm probably incredibly likely to just shrug my shoulders, wait for them to cool off, and then go back.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If Dyslexic makes a new story, I try to read it. But the problem is, with Dyslexic's case, is I know he will never finish a story.
It gets popular, he rage quits, and moves on.
Exactly. He will never finish a story because he's a half-decent author, and half-decent authors produce half-decent stories, which gets lots of fucking clicks, and I know the second he gets lots of clicks, he's going to leave the story. And he will never come back to it.
Which is incredibly unsatisfying.
Yeah, so I just don't bother.
Yeah. Alright.
Am I gonna sit there and send him hate mail? Fuck no, I don't give a shit. If he wants to sit there and throw a piss fit, he can go sit there and throw a piss fit. Just like the child screaming at the top of his lungs in a store, no matter how much I really just want to fucking drop kick the kid in the face.
Mm-hmm.
I just move on, and I don't give a shit. But boy, do I wish. I do. But it's way less effort to just move on, because the faster I get through something, the faster I'm away from whatever piss fit they're throwing, whether that's digital piss fit or a real life piss fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm not a moderator.
What, you would just ban anytime, ban anyone anytime they started freaking out?
There's a reason why on a server I used to be on, the admin made me the head moderator. And I mean, like, borderline, I almost had more powers than the owner did on this server. And I brought the hammer of God down on them. And nobody fucked about. For, like, the entire time I was a mod on that server.
Sneaky the Tyrant face.
Well, no, because we messed about. We all had fun. I mean, this was a game server. This wasn't like a Discord or something. It was a game server. So we still fucked about. We still had our shit. We still had our jipes and japes and whatever the fuck else you want to say, and we had our fun. But everyone knew there was a line, and if you cross that line, you don't get a second chance, you don't get a stern talking to, you get vaporized and you're gone. And I made clear that line. This wasn't a line that people were surprised by. This was a line I made blatantly clear very often. And they all knew that I had no hesitation in enforcing that line. And so they didn't cross it. And occasionally, someone thought they were tough shit and that they were going to cross that line and really stick it to me. And you know what immediately happened to them? I fucking banned them.
Woo.
I don't have time for their shit. No one has time for their shit. We all are here to play a fucking video game and have fun. And if they didn't want to do that, and they wanted to infringe on that time and ruin it for everyone else, oh, guess what? They can do it fucking somewhere else, because they ain't doing it here.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, see, lots of NIMBYs, not in my backyard sorts of people, are the sorts of people that are like, oh, well, I'll allow it to happen, but just as long as it doesn't happen in my personal space. I'm the sort of person who goes, not in my backyard, shotgun cock. Because this is ending here and now. So that's what happens when I'm made a moderator and I actually have to enforce rules. Because let me tell you, if someone on this little Discord server I run here actually genuinely maliciously breaks the rules, I'll fucking ban them. I have no problem immediately dropping that ban hammer.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
How many rules can I break all at once in the span of 30 seconds?
Delete sign.
Woo.
I am mailing you a pipe bomb.
Delete the horny.
Oh no.
Anyway, yeah, we're gonna end it here. It's 10:46, gentlemen. We all had a fun little time here, but unfortunately, fanfiction will just keep getting worse. We're far, far past our ability to ever enact change. If this podcast wasn't squelched by Twitch and YouTube back in the day, maybe we could have slowly built up an audience, but unfortunately we were squelched, and it is what it is. And You know, this podcast was an actual genuine hope at one point for me. Of, you know, maybe if I can build up a large enough following, I can just use Might is Right and get people to enforce some fucking readability standards. But, it didn't happen. It is what it is. So,
Of is what it is.
yeah, I'm running out of is what it is, but unfortunately, there's an infinite use for it. But, yeah, so it'll always get worse, and there's always more.